The Dent Slayer, Matt Boyette. Thank you so much for being here.
She's smooth, boy.
All right, so starting out in this industry, I was very privileged. I had a lot of guys that I already knew that were longtime techs in the market, so they were always super helpful. It was great, but you would hear stories about things that happened, and there were a few stories of just like bad things that people did that you just. I didn't witness these things, but I'm going to start this thing, and Matt, I'll let you take it from here. I want to see your reaction. Well, let's not name any names, just to not incriminate somebody. But okay, so a group of people were working on some hail cars, maybe at a shop somewhere, and a decision was made on a minivan to drill a hole, and it was near where the door slides. There's a track, and so they drilled the hole, put everything back together, and whoops, the hole they drilled was just not covered up at all by the trim that went back over it. Matt, is this a true story?
Yeah.
Don't name any names.
No.
So then
names.
what happened?
Yeah, so that was me and my brother.
I
I didn't say any names.
Oh my god.
That was me and my brother, and that was a long time ago. But yes, we got called to this shop, and we weren't hail techs at the time. We were route guys. So if that gives us any kind of pass.
That's fine, then.
So they call us to work on this minivan, and so 2 disasters happened on that minivan.
Oh wow. I was gonna say the other thing, but I didn't realize that this was the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The first disaster, what happened was the guy my brother went and asked the manager. He's like, "Hey, I can't get access here. Can I drill a hole?" And the guy's like, "Sure, drill a hole." So on the old Odyssey minivans, they had this plate that covered the track.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you could remove it.
It's metal.
It's metal, and you could remove it. And so it was way up in the front of the quarter panel. And so my brother removed it, and he drilled a hole to get down in there into the front of the quarter panel. But then when you put the piece back on, it was way down and visible.
This piece shrunk after I took it off, man.
So he goes and gets the manager, and the manager's like, "Oh, no big deal. We're just going to paint it." And it was like, we were like panicking, which obviously we should have, but no big deal. We're just going to fix it and paint it. So the other disaster, which is we were putting the hatch on, and there was 2 of us, and it was heavy, and we were stressing, and you're trying to hold it and trying to get the bolts started and all that stuff. And my brother was getting the bolts in, and it started cross threading, and he got on it with the impact, and it was not straightening out.
Yeah.
Sometimes
this needs more power.
So he's on it, and he's just giving it, and he looks at me like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Just burn it in." And he just continues and it was going in, and then as soon as it seated, the head spun off.
Oh.
I mean, right off.
This was the same vehicle?
Same.
At least it'll be easy to get out.
Yeah, 3 bolts instead of 4. So, yeah, we bursted spun that head off that nut, and drilled a hole in the quarter panel, and just like, we got.
How did y'all's careers not end that day?
I don't know. I mean, the manager seemed unaffected to any of it, and it was
stuff like that's happening every day at body shops.
It was like, I mean, to me, it was like, just here's my tools, I'm done.
Yeah.
But for him,
and you don't owe me
deal.
anything.
We'll fix it. No big deal.
Probably paid you full price.
Yeah. Oh, we did. Yeah, we got paid. Nothing. But horrible. I mean, I think that's, as far as like negligence goes on my end, that's probably one of the biggest situations I can remember. We've put a screw in a wiring harness, and you had to fix, like in a headliner, and you had to replace the whole wiring harness or get a headliner, like on the old 13 F-150s that we put a screw through, putting the visor up, and you somehow just the screw goes through the wiring harness.
Where they have like 9 different length screws, and one of them will kill the car if it's in the wrong hole. Awesome engineering.
And that one, it came back and it didn't work. And Abra was like, hey, you guys got to pay for a whole new headliner because the wiring harness is part of the headliner. And we're like, whatever. Like, we know.
Just let me be done with it.
Yeah. But that was the only two really major, I would say, disastrous things that I would fess up to doing.
You remind me of a similar story that I have. It wasn't so bad what I did, but I learned a lot this day. So, we all started somewhere where you knew nothing about what you're doing, and you keep learning more every day. So I was far into dents, but very, very early into online networking with guys outside of my hometown. So no hail, just, all we knew was if everyone isn't happy, you don't charge anything for it. You're just managing all your relationships. But we never see hail. So I was starting to see hail once in a while, but I was starting to understand you could bill differently for it. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is like, I'm calling my friends, my online friends, and saying, all right, so what do you do? How much do you do? Like, how do you get more for it? So I remember the first time I understood like how to bill, not right the way we do it now, but right for me back then, which was like 10 times higher than I would have normally billed. And it was an aluminum hood on like a Challenger. And the access sucked, so I was glue pulling it. And as you guys always know, when you're going to pull paint, you're going to pull it on the last dent of the panel for whatever reason. Like your glue's waiting at the back of the stick for the part that's going to take the paint. So the whole hood is done. Last dent, boom, I pull the paint. And in my mind before that, it's like, it's free now. I made it worse. I can't bill anything. So Ryan Hampton was the guy helping me out, like kind of giving me tips because all he was doing was hail. And I didn't understand the insurance claims process or anything. So I'm like, hey, Ryan, I worked like for a couple hours on this hood and I just pulled the paint off. What do you think I should do? He's like, just bill them normal for it. And then tell them to supplement for paint. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, it's like a Seinfeld episode. He's like, when Kramer was shipping stuff with the insurance and then making claims on it. And he's like, it's a write-off. Jerry's like, you don't even know what that means. He goes, no, I don't, but they do. So I'm like, I don't know what that means. He's like, don't worry about it. They know what it means. So I'm like, all right, man. I'll just go in there and just try to get confident and go, hey, the hood's all done. It's perfectly flat. A little bit of the paint came off at the end, though, so you got to go ahead and write a supplement for paint. And I'm just waiting, and the guy's like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm like, cool.
It worked.
I'm like, dude, it worked. What does that mean? It's so funny, you think back to what you knew then and what you know now. It's a completely different world.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have known a little bit more back then.
Totally.
This episode is brought to you by PDR Expo, the premier event dedicated entirely to the paintless dent repair industry, happening September 25th and 26th, 2026 at the Rio in Las Vegas. This is where techs, tool companies, and industry leaders come together for 2 full days of education, networking, live competitions, and hands-on access to the latest tools and innovations. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, PDR Expo is built to help you sharpen your skills and grow your business. So before we keep going a long time, today's guest, a Dent Slayer podcast veteran, 2-time Dent Slayer podcast champ, Keith Cosentino is in the house. Nice. Welcome back, Keith.
Thank you for having me back. Is it rare air? Has anyone else done 2?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. My friend Tony was part of 2. I think that's it.
Right.
Yeah. Very rare.
We do want to have a couple guys back. We want to have Shalot back, and who is the other guy? We just had
the Swires couple is here.
Yeah, there's a few.
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah, there's a.
If it lined up,
Gene was one.
If it lined up, we would probably have most of the people back.
Well, there's so much knowledge with some of you guys. Like, that's just like trying to get it in 4 hours is just impossible. So we got to go into 8, I guess.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm excited to be back. It's cool. I'm not out here very often, so once a year I'm out here from MTE, so it's nice to connect.
Yeah. So you flew in today?
Yesterday.
You flew in yesterday.
Yeah.
Into Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Staying there, and then Tammy, the gal that runs Claim Connection for me, is nice enough to be the receiving person for all my Black Plague stuff as it's coming in from all over the world. So she stages it for me. So to go down there, check everything in, start bringing it back to Orlando, and make a pit stop over here. It's almost on the way.
Your MTE week, just describe it briefly. Is it it's pretty relaxing? You get to hang out and chill a lot?
Yeah, it's like if you had a jar full of 1,000,000 marbles and you spilled them in your kitchen, but each one's filled with nitroglycerin. It's kind of like that. It's like everything going everywhere all the time, and you're trying to keep things from exploding. It's nuts. There's so much to it, and it doesn't seem like that much when you sit back and look at it in a booth. Like there's like
It's a little booth. What's the big
25
deal?
things here. What's the big deal? And it really isn't a big deal. The big deal is that I'm trying to do it with 3 people and not 13. You know, when any other big tool companies come down, they bring a ton of stuff, but they also bring a ton of people, and everyone has a task. And it probably isn't that hard for the person who owns the company. But for me, I'm like the bootstrap guy. You know? So I'm trying to do everything. It's honestly way too much, but for some reason, I keep doing it that way.
Just keep jumping on that sword.
Yeah, swords, grenades. If it's dangerous, I'm jumping on it.
But it's necessary, right? I mean, like you know, for what you're bringing, you know, your tools you're bringing to market, the things that are coming out every year that you're doing, you have to attend expos like this.
Oh, for
right?
sure, yeah.
You
It's
have to be
valuable
front and center.
to talk to techs and hear the feedback on how they're using them, how they're not using them, what they know about, what they don't. Yeah, and it kind of goes to the topic that you wanted to talk about today. Is like, where do you allocate your resources and what are you doing? So, yes, I could hire a GM and a couple admins, but then that's less money to go to development of other stuff, investing in more inventory.
I think there's something to be said, like if you're the guy shopping for the tool, right? You're walking around Mobile Tech and you're looking for what do I want to grab this year? What's going to, you know, give me the most progression in my craft this year? And you come across a tool. I mean, there's no one better fitted than the designer or the tool maker to be able to walk you through
For sure.
the intent or the reason, how to use it, why to use it, where to use it. So, I mean, I think guys are looking for that. They don't want just the guy who works for you. I mean, they'd love to talk to you. I mean,
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Mobile Tech RX, the #1 app built for auto recon pros. Whether you're chasing hail, fixing wheels, or repairing dents, Mobile Tech RX handles the full workflow from estimate to payment with zero fluff. With tools like X-ray, access photos, hail matrices, and tech pay tracking, you'll save time, make more, and look damn good doing it. Start your 5-day free trial at mobiletechrx.com.
It's true. It is true, and there's a little bit of head trash in that. Like it's true because it's cool to buy something from the guy who created it. That's cool. But the idea that nobody could explain it as well as me, that's head trash. It's the same kind of idea like when you first start your dent company that nobody can do it. As if you don't do it, it's not going to be done as nice as you would have done it. But then you look around the country and there's 100,000 guys who have perfect 5-star reviews, and you don't have anything to do with their repairs. Like other people can do it, but there is that cool factor. Like everybody, if it's a dent slayer tool, how cool is it to buy it from you? It's like no one else can be you. But I've had other people actually do an amazing job of explaining my stuff to their buddies. Like somebody will bring a buddy, like, hey, I got to show you this stuff, and I'll listen to how they explain it. Like that, they do an amazing job at understanding it. So I would love to farm that piece out and just kiss all the babies and take photos. It's easier, but it is cool to be there and fun to explain it. But it's most valuable to hear the feedback from the other guys. Like, why do you do this? Why didn't you think about this? And sometimes they're super great ideas. Sometimes they're awful ideas, but sometimes they're great. And I guess it's like American Idol. Like, it's funny because some of the ideas are so stupid, and it's cool when there's really good ones. It's everything. It's entertainment.
So for you, I mean, I would think that most smaller tool companies, they do it because if they're gonna go to a show and they're gonna do it, they have to do it themselves because they would just lose a ton of money if they hired things out. Could you train somebody to do all that? Are you there to where you could do that and you just choose not to?
It's like on the cusp. If I don't think I could keep growing the lineup. I don't think the resources would be as well spent. I probably could make the company a little more profitable with somebody there working, like running it full time. But then who's going to do the R&D and new stuff? That would be me, and that takes money to keep investing in prototypes that when they come back are not nearly as good as when they left my mind. There's a million of those. For every one good thing, there's like 7 dumb ideas that you think are going to work out, and you get them made, and you realize maybe it's not completely dumb, but you're missing like a key component. I don't know about other people and how they design tools. I haven't really like sat down and shared thought processes with other people. But for me personally, I have a big blind spot when you have a good idea. Like I'm a big fan of my ideas. So I'll sketch it, I'll draw it, I'll have an engineer draw it, and it looks amazing. But then when you make it, it'll be something as silly as, you pick it up and go, oh, the bottom is not flat enough that when I put it down, it's not stable. I didn't catch that because I was so worried about the top. So you have to make stuff and try it. And sometimes it's just okay, and you're working on it. Like a lot of your tools, I'm sure, you think you got the bend just nailed. You try it, you go, no, it's not quite it. It's got to go back. And that process, it's fun, but also time-consuming, and a lot of money gets burned up.
Sure.
That happens a lot with me with things that I say. Like in my head, they sound really good, but then when I say it, I'm like, man, that was pretty dumb.
I wish I could say I couldn't relate to that.
Black Plague PDR Tools. We only partner with sponsors that we believe in and products that we use. Black Plague PDR. Since Keith started making tabs years ago, we've been fans. Black Plague dent and crease tabs are part of our daily kit. They hook up, pull hard, and last a really long time. Find them at deadrattabs.com. And even better, come see Keith at MTE this year and check out some of his new products coming out, including the super straight tabs and his micro tip set.
So you want to I wasn't planning on getting right into that subject matter that we were talking about, but it kind of fits with what we're talking about. Y'all good to go there now, and then we'll just see where it takes us?
Of course. That's the whole show, right?
Yeah. So I asked Matt and Keith basically if I feel like this is a helpful activity for us business owners to think through. If you think of your business as like a board game, where we kind of all have resources that we gather throughout the game, and your main resources would be money and time. And with the game of business, you can take the resources out of the game, right? You can take them out of the game and use them for your personal life. And there is some crossover there, which makes it a little bit difficult. But if you think about your business as a game and you're constantly accumulating money and you have the same amount of time as everybody, but you have to reinvest in the business if you want to win the game, okay? And now we all have our different ways that we come to think of winning, but I think it's helpful to try to think, okay, in my business, am I just using it and I'm just taking all of the money out of it, or am I thinking of it almost like, like an old school business tycoon where, I need to grow my factory, I need to hire workers, I need to invest in R&D. Like, are we thinking about it like a business owner, or are we just thinking about it like a job?
How do you think about it, Matt? There's a lot of different ways to look at it.
I think of like, if it's the games, like, do you enjoy playing the game? Is the big
that's
question.
Number one.
Like, if you don't enjoy playing the game, then you're gonna probably start withdrawing some of those resources, right? So you can do the things that you want to enjoy. But if you enjoy the game, then you will probably want to continue playing. Example, let's go with the game thing, which is like gambling. Last time I went to Vegas, sat down and I'm playing roulette.
No, you were not.
No, not that time. Before. Not at SEMA.
You were playing the Yeti slot machine video game.
Well, okay, but so I was playing. That's an addicting game. I enjoy playing that.
I thought we were about to talk about that.
I've
got video of this.
The Yo-Yo Yeti one.
Yes.
I was talking more about roulette.
Okay.
Was like, I allocated a certain amount of money that I was going to play with, and then it's like
betting.
How long can I play? Like, because I was enjoying playing, and I was able to sit there for 2 hours with my initial buy-in and just continue playing. I could have walked away. I could have made that money and walked away, if the goal was the money.
Right.
But the goal wasn't the money. The goal was, I want to play. I'm here in Vegas. I want to play the game. Like, I don't want to go sit in my hotel room with the money. I was doing that before. So, so like I sat there and I continued reinvesting in to a point to where I was done playing, and then I was and I was ahead. So, but I think it definitely fits. Is like, for me, I'll speak for my experience, is I enjoy my business. I enjoy what I do. If we're talking about my local PDR company, I enjoy it. If we're talking about the tool, the training, and the podcast, which is Dent Slayer, I enjoy all of those. And so for me, it's I got 4 games I'm trying to play. And how do I divide the time between all of those? Because I like all of them. But I mean, let's just face it, the podcast doesn't pay me money back. So like, I can only spend so much time doing this. So I have to be in the shop fixing dents, or I have to be in the shop making tools, or I have to be training the people, because those are what pays the bills that allows me to do the podcast.
So let's just for this exercise, let's keep it just to PDR businesses, right?
Okay.
So like, just imagine that y'all don't have tool companies. All we're thinking about here is your PDR company. But you guys both have brick and mortar locations, but we also, let's think about things that a wholesale tech that just does wholesale, he needs to think about this, and mobile retail techs, and even hail techs. We all have ways that we can reinvest back into our businesses.
Well, here's the most important part of this whole thing, is to understand what game you're playing. Mm-hmm. Because it's easy to think you're playing one game and you're not. You think you're playing tennis and you're playing pickleball or something. Like, for example, if you have this idea that you're going to sell your company, your dent company, but you are slamming every single expense in your life into the company and calling it a company expense, so the company loses money on paper at the end of the year so that you don't have to pay as much taxes. You say you're playing one game, you're playing a completely different one. So I think it's important to be really honest with yourself about what game you're playing. And sometimes there's a million different ways you could play the game. It could be a lifestyle. I want to start at 10 o'clock and quit at 3. You guys, all of us at this table know 5 guys that work like that.
Yeah.
Right?
They probably aren't listening to this podcast.
They might be.
They might be.
I used to, if I'm being honest, I used to look down on people like that. Like the term lifestyle business guy, I used to think was a kind of an insult, which means like you're just lazy. But as I've gotten older, started raising kids, I realized that if you're doing it on purpose, it's very cool. I mean, there's a lot of awful ways to have a career where you're just working and you don't really like your job. But if you like what you do and you can support your family working 5 hours a day, and you don't have any dreams on having 2 lake houses and a ski boat and sending your kids to Ivy League schools, but you want to coach soccer and you want to be at every game and every pickup and drop off, that's an amazing life.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of times I think I personally get caught up on we're not really doing a good job as a provider if your bank account doesn't have multiple commas in it, and like you can retire before your hair is gray. And that stuff's all super cool, but it isn't everything for everybody. And it took me until I was, in my 40s to understand that if somebody's 35 or 25 and they just want to live in a van and work 5 months out of the year and then travel, that's rad. But doing it, understanding what your game is. And I think a lot of us just start working, and maybe you never have the idea on what actually am I doing here? What's my plan? What's the purpose of this? But if you do have that thought and you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, then it becomes a lot easier to play the game well. But if you don't know It's random. What are you going to do? If you say your goal is to sell the company, it's a totally different number of things you're going to do. Or I've got a lot of buddies who have sold big companies, and it's super intoxicating when you see people's lives change and you go, man, I would like to sell a company for $100 million. Then I look around and like, that's not a game I'm playing. There's nothing in play right now that'll be worth $100 million to anyone, anytime, ever. So if I want to do that, I have to completely change what I'm doing. That's not this game. So it's like a daydream fantasy. So what's more reality?
So do you know what game you're playing? Like, do you have an exit strategy? Do you have that dialed in?
No. In complete transparency, I do not. Because it's not easy to figure out. And I think it changes like I said, when I got older, I have a different mindset. Selling a dent company is not something that happens very often that I know about. I'm sure you and I, all three of us probably know like 5 or 6 deals. And in my experience, the numbers are usually really obscured and like no one's talking. And the ones I do know they're not enough money to go stop working. They just don't trade. I don't know why they don't trade for more. And I mean, I have some ideas. Like if the people are not contractually obligated to you as customers or as employees, it's like, what is someone really buying? Mm-hmm. Just some street cred. But having a brick and mortar shop gives you a little more value to someone else. There's something they could acquire and continue to utilize. So I don't have plans on selling my dent company, only because I don't think it's valuable in general.
Yeah.
So that's not on my horizon, but like streamlining it so that it continues to produce and makes money. That's part of my plan. The tool company I enjoy doing. It would be nice to sell it one day, but again, it's not big enough to be a problem to anyone or an advantage to anyone to the point that they would want to trade me enough money that it'd be worth it to sell it for me. That's one of the drawbacks to like having things go pretty well. The number that you would need to walk away becomes higher and higher and higher to the point that it's unrealistic. Like you're not going to get it. It doesn't always, like some of this stuff doesn't make sense when you say it out loud, but emotionally, it makes sense. You might be making $500,000 from all your stuff every year. In a normal business setting, that, you'd get 4 or 5x profit, right? So $2 million. But what are you going to do with $2 million right now?
Hold it.
Yeah, you're not going to retire.
Save
You
it.
can't retire with $2 million. I mean, you could maybe move somewhere in the Midwest and live in a teepee, but not in California, and probably not here either. I don't know what the property values are here, but in California, $2 million would buy you an okay home. So it's like you got to just keep on jamming and working. So for me, it's about doing stuff that I like and doing stuff that I'll continue to enjoy doing. My concept of retiring has changed. It used to be like retire means not work. Now retire to me means only work on the stuff I want to do when I want to do it. Right? Because I like working. Like I'm sure all your tools, I know you like making tools. You don't just do it for the money. It's just cool to see a problem and solve it.
Yes.
And I feel the same way about my tools. It's just none of these tools that we'll talk about today are buying me a yacht, but they're very cool and I love doing it. It's fun to solve problems. So I want to do that forever. I don't think I want to stop doing that anytime.
And I think for myself, if I was trying to start a business that I could flip and sell, it probably wouldn't be a dent business.
No.
Like there's a lot of other businesses. If that was the game, was start a business, flip it, sell it, make a lot of money and retire, it wouldn't be a PDR business. I do think the lessons we learn running a retail business are super valuable. And if we put it into something else that doesn't require such a specialized skill set and such a long period of time to train, we could do that. Like all three of us have a proven track record of running a great service business. We know what it means to get leads, to satisfy people, and to produce a great product. People leave great reviews. That piece is dialed. The piece that makes a dent business broken from the market is just that training and the person doing the dents. If you move it over to something that has a 1 or 2 week training, not to downplay film guys, because I think it's also a skill, but it's not like dents, like a PPF or a window tinting. Also a skill, hard to do, not as hard as dents, very much more repeatable. There's
There's a way to sell other service businesses. This one is just the skill set is the piece that's you can't replicate.
It's very hard to scale, and it's very. I mean, because the learning curve is so long that makes it. I mean, I don't want to say impossible to scale because people do it, but it's very hard to dial that in, right? And it takes a long time, and I mean, right now we have 2 shops and 4 technicians, 5 technicians being me, and we're just getting to the point to where I can be selective with the jobs I want to take on, to where I try to feed my techs mostly, and then I'll do the certain jobs that I have to do, or everyone's bound up, and I'll go do one. But so we're just now getting to that point, but I have to keep my finger on the pulse of it every day, or else it will not last.
Let me ask you all this: both of y'all have techs that work for you, and both of y'all have brick and mortar shops. Which do you think is more risky and offers more reward? Putting money and time into a shop, or putting money and time into a technician? Which one's more risky, you think?
Oh, the technician all day. Like, the building doesn't have a brain and a girlfriend telling him he should move to Texas. You could, like, this dent layer wall is going to be here till you tear it back down. But you put that time and money into a person, the right person, great. Sometimes, and nothing. It's not a negative thing. I'm not like here telling you people are awful, don't invest in them. But in that comparison, to me, it's no comparison. Right? The good guys. Everybody has a life cycle that changes. Some guy could be your best guy, and he's like, "Hey, my mom's sick, and I got to go be by her in Texas," and that's it. And it's nothing negative. It's just life happens, and the dude moves, and poof, there's all your investment is gone. And I've never really had a super negative feeling about that. I've started to understand more and more, like, it's rare. All of us probably stayed at our jobs a long time, and that's pretty rare. A lot of people switch jobs every 5 years, 6 years, and that's the whole lifespan for that job. And it doesn't mean it went bad or it was supposed to go longer. It's super weird for someone to stay at a job for 10 or 15 or 20 years. That's the exception.
Yeah.
And it's good. I like to remember that, to not get frustrated when people want to bounce. Now they go, "Hey, I'm doing something else." Okay, cool. Great. Hope you have great luck.
Would you agree with that? You got 2 shops.
When we set out to create our own collision glue, we had 2 goals in mind. Our number 1 priority, make the absolute best collision glue on the planet. Dent Slayer collision glue holds stronger and longer, and has everything you need to deliver world-class results on smashed bends. Our second priority, this glue had to absolutely rip for route techs in warm climates. And believe me, it does. It delivers reliable, strong pulls in the heat and keeps you very efficient out there on the streets. Part of our 2-glue system, whatever the weather, Dent Slayer has you covered. This 2-glue system was only made possible through our relationship with Anson. You can find it on their website, as well as the other major leading PDR tool companies' websites. Yeah, I mean...
Do you think the more shops you get, it gets more risky or less risky?
I think the more people you add, I mean, again, the shops are easy. They don't talk back. They don't argue with you or show up late, So, I mean, it's when you add people to it, just the human element, and I'm not beating anybody up either, it's just life element, is that's when things start to get,
complicated.
And I mean, I don't want to talk about this too deep for my personal reasons, but I feel like I have invested deeply in people, and then when something shifts, when they leave or whatever their life, then it really hurts. It really sucks. And then you kind of withdraw and you're like, I ain't doing that again. But you have to. You have to do it. Maybe you live and you learn. Maybe you don't do it to that level, but you can't. You have to do that, right? And so for me, it was understanding. So right after I started my business here back in 2020, my local company here, I called a good friend of mine who owned a PDR company back in the 90s, who lives here still. And I was kind of going over some business model stuff with him, and he's like, Matt, one thing I will tell you is like, it's just going to be a revolving door of people, and don't get hung up about it. It's just what it is. So you're going to invest in someone, and they're going to leave, and just if this is what you want to do, then just have someone else ready to jump back in.
It's good advice.
And just keep it coming. Don't get emotional about it. And so it's kind of like having that thing in your hand loosely. It's like I want to hold on to it loosely because I know it's going to leave, but I also have to have it open to where I can be replaced with something else that's coming right back. And it's like I was grabbing onto that thing early with these other guys, and it sucked to get ripped out. And then I had this clenched fist of like, and so I guess that would be the analogy for me, is just like, just know these guys are going to leave. The guys I have working with me now aren't going to be here forever. That's a fact. Right. It's just when do they leave? So I've already accepted those terms. It's just, don't be surprised.
Yeah, and you're not going to have the company forever either.
Sure.
You know, it's okay. It's okay if a business like lasts 20 or 30 or even 15 or 10 years. I think I personally, when I see something close in 5 or 10 years, I kind of look at it like a failure. But, you know, talk to me about Spirit Halloween. They open and close every year.
Every year.
Dude, we need to get that guy on here.
I'm sure he's got some insight.
What a crazy business.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, do y'all know of anyone who, so there's one company that has done this, who just, their business model is just to always be making more techs. That's Dent Wizard. That's what they do. They're always creating more techs. That's just, is there anybody else that is just, maybe they're not doing it on that scale, but they are always have somebody in the pipeline that they're training, and that they've kind of just come to terms with that. Like that, their business is going to grow if they keep doing that. Like, do y'all know of anybody has that going?
I do not, but I do know there are a couple of like good-sized regional dent companies. I don't personally know any of them. I think the closest I might know as far as my own relationships is Dent Smart guys. They've got quite a few technicians. I don't know the number, but it's a decent amount.
That's in your area,
no,
that company?
No, I don't even know where they're based out of. Yeah, I should know, but I don't. But there's a bunch of guys there. Like I said, I don't know any companies. I know there's a few, most like in places where it hails. I don't know any in the West Coast.
Would we be correct in saying that hail is one of the biggest drivers for sustainability in those type of business models?
Sure. I think we talked about this last time. It's so silly when you look at the numbers. Like if you were just telling someone about the dent business who didn't have anything idea about dents, and you could say, all right, in one area of the country, average order value is about $395. And in the other part of the country, average order value is about $6,800.
So different.
Like,
it's so crazy.
Why would you ever consider opening in the other place? That doesn't make any sense. Help me understand. Oh, well, it's more regular, and like, but it's 20x.
If I get a hail car, it makes my month. Like
Right.
it makes an impact on my month.
Yeah,
And they're just getting them every day.
it's
crazy.
It's to use the tried and true dent term, game changer, but it is a real game changer. I don't have many regrets in the dent business, but one is like when I figured out what hail was, I didn't just uproot my family and move to Missouri or Texas or Colorado.
Oh, you regret you should have done that?
Yeah, my life would look very different.
Sure.
Because I'm super good at what I do. I'm great at running my shop. I'm great at making customers feel comfortable and getting them to choose to purchase there. The only thing I don't have is the opportunity to do $15,000 cars back to back to back to back to back. It's stupid. It's the same decision you have to get somebody to make. I have to work just as hard to get somebody to spend $800 with me as I do to get some $18,000 with me.
Yeah. I would say too, hail is the most as far as if we're kind of sectoring off PDR, hail is the biggest, is the most process driven. Like hail is all process, where when you get into retail or smash repair, it's a whole different process.
That's a good point.
It's not as processable.
Yeah, you've got a better chance at like franchising a hail model than you do a retail smash place. Every dent is an artistic expression. When you're doing these crazy smashes, you're 1 out of 3 you're customizing a tool for it. But hail is very repeatable. It's like, some are deep and some are not, but it's pretty much rinse and repeat, the same process. Start your lights here, first do this section, then that section. You're right about that.
Yeah. So like that combination, the process plus the transaction price point per customer, I mean, makes it just a win-win.
Our new business is formed.
So, but
What are we doing?
both of y'all train people, right? Both of y'all have training companies.
I don't have training companies.
Well, you kind of do.
Oh, with PDR College?
Yeah, you remember that?
Well, I mean, you're...
In the advanced skills seminar. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't look at that like I'm offering training on the regular, trying to get leads, get them to come, schedule my whole month, my whole year of people in my shop. So yeah, I do have an advanced training thing we do once a year.
Okay, so I'm just trying to establish that you guys could train people.
Yes.
So is it more, is it easier for you to digest or think about the investment? If we could put a number on, if you could just outsource training a tech, like you send them to, one of the schools that's not you, that it's a couple month process and you pay them whatever you pay them and they come back and they're generally know how to fix a dent. Is that easier to digest if that was, what are those costs? Somewhere between $20,000-$30,000 or something like that?
I think it's a lot less than that.
to go for a couple months.
Yeah.
Oh, a
like
couple
what is
months.
what is Mike Seawald's? What's his cost?
I would only be guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm going to guess. I'm going to say it's more than 10, less than 20.
We'll say it's 20. Would it, for both of y'all, if you found the right person character wise, would it be easier for you to drop the 20, knowing that they'll come back? Let's just assume they're going to come back able to fix a simple dent, or would that be easier, or would it be easier for you to think, oh, I'm going to have this guy hanging around me and following me around for months, and I'm going to pay him while I train him? Like, if you're thinking
what
about
am
it,
I trying to do?
you're trying to create a basic technician. Is it easier for you to say, I'm going to throw down 20,000, or I'm going to personally train this guy?
So I'll give a disclaimer first. I've never done that, so I don't have any experiences to draw on. I know people do it. I know in the years of doing the advanced skills seminar, guys have brought their sons, and a lot of them have I don't have the patience to train my son, so I send him off. And it seems to have worked pretty well. Like, the training's better now than when we all learned. The lighting and the tooling's better. So guys, the theme I generally hear is, he picked it up way faster than I did. This kid's way better than I was. And I think maybe some of that's true because there's so much more information out there, but a lot of it is they can just see better. It's easier to do a dent now than when we started. You couldn't see anything. We're using boards inside. But I think in your scenario, I don't know how well I know this person.
The trainer or the tech?
Kid.
The kid.
The person, whether they're a boy or girl
you can't,
or age, but this trade is not easy. You can teach somebody to do a small dent and they cannot have the gumption to keep going, because that's the easy part. When you learn to fix the first little dent, you think you got it. You're like, okay, you think you got it? Now let's put it on a rail and put it behind a brace and make you take half the car apart to get to it and put your head in some weird position and your arms is sucked under the car. Like, you have to want to solve problems and you have to be continually creative when problems keep popping up in your face. I think that's a skill set that we all share. We probably all took stuff apart when we were kids and tried to build stuff in the garage. Like, it's that kind of like mechanical problem solving guy that's pretty good at dents. I'm sure there's exceptions, but it really sucks for that first year when you're trying to figure it out and make money. And I just don't know if I can know somebody and know if they're going to make it. So I don't think I would want to invest the money until I spend some time with them and see, what they're like under fire, like more of a traditional apprentice model where they're.
So you think dropping the money is more risky than training them yourself?
Like I said, I've never done it.
Yeah.
But I think the risk isn't the training. I think the risk to me, as I imagine this, is that I don't know the person well enough to make the investment.
Well, the risk would be you're going to lose 20 grand if you find out later that this guy's not
and
a
listen,
problem solver.
I spent 50 grand paying a guy for a year, and he sucked. I had to fire him, and
so
I don't get that money back.
Yeah.
It didn't make me $1. So was that risky? I thought with that dude, I guess I could share an experience from that. Somebody said, they gave me this saying, like, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. So as soon as this dude is showing me that he doesn't follow directions and he thinks he knows better than me, I should have just pulled the ripcord, because that was like week 2. But I'm like, yeah, he's just kind of headstrong, but he'll figure it out. Like, no, that's
independent minded.
Yeah.
He'll be good in this business.
Right.
That's what you're thinking.
You make a lot of excuses so you can not have to face hard decisions. But I didn't. If I would have pulled the Band-Aid off when I thought I might have to, I would have spent a quarter of that or less. That's still wasted money, right? Another 15 grand or something. So it's the people is the hardest piece. But that's every business. It's not just dents.
Yeah.
Every business. The people are tough.
I know a guy who went to a 2-month training, paid the 20 grand, and came back and decided that he didn't want to do it. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I mean,
you reminded me of something I'm going to forget again.
Say it.
I'm not trying to take you off course, but that 20, if they're not paying it, they're not that invested in that training, right?
Correct.
You're paying it for them. They're like, whatever, I'm doing this dent training thing. They're thinking about something else maybe. But if you can find a way for this person to be bought in, I know some guys do a thing where like, I pay for your training and you earn it back when you're working or things like that. But
so I've had people call me and want to know if I'm hiring and if I would apprentice. And so I've had to kind of form that answer or that decision for me. And mine is, no, I'm not going to apprentice anybody. If you want to come here, you have to have already made that commitment and invested in yourself, that part of it. Because I'm not going to eat that investment, because that's a, let's just say you take a guy, you hire this kid off the street, great kid. Let's just say that he's a good kid, but let's just talk about from the profitability standpoint. You got $20,000 of straight up right off the bat. And then let's just say another $5,000 for the tools.
That dude's dad wouldn't cut a $20,000 check to send him to vocational school now, but you're supposed to.
So now you've got 25 grand right off the bat. And now that's just the initial investment initially. And now you have this time that we know he's not going to be profitable. He's either going to be slow. Let's just say he's good, but he's slow.
In the best case scenario, he's good, but dead slow.
Best case.
1 dent a day.
So how long? I've determined that it's about, if I hired a guy and apprenticed him, I need 3 years before I'm profitable with him. Maybe that's, give or take some time, but it's not a short time that I can send a guy to training and then sit back and reap the benefits. Like that's a long time.
And one of the challenges is, if you're just training them to be a tech, they're straight dead weight to you during the day. They're adding no value.
Sure. They're pulling from you what you're doing.
And if you want to get value out of them and you have them running cars and taking things apart and doing other things, they're not learning dents. So you're kind of at this crazy crossroads where you're either choosing to just get kicked straight in the junk and invest, into the black hole, or you're like, I need to make some money back, go do other things. And coincidentally, that's why in-house PDR guys always fail, in my opinion. The manager's like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to send this guy to school. And he comes back and they're like, you've been on that car for 2 hours. We need you to help clean up this area. We need you to help finish this car. Hey, do you still know how to spray primer? Great, prime this thing. And they pull him in 100 different directions. And the poor dude never gets to sit down and become a master at his craft because they're asking him to do 100 other things. Pretty soon the tools are dusty and he's back to doing whatever, and it fails.
Sure.
Every single time. They don't let him sit and do dents, which is, like you said, 3 years, right? You got to just do dents. There's no way to get good at dents without doing dents.
That I feel like that is the hardest part about our trade. It's like a plumber, he's helpful. Like a helper with a plumber, he's learning, he's doing stuff. An electrician, a carpenter, they're helping as they're learning. But a PDR technician is not helping.
No.
In any way.
You know what I just thought about, though? I mean, I've probably thought about this before. We're talking about it right now in a sense that it's a hindrance to growing the company. But it's also one of the reasons why our companies are pretty safe. You know, our little 1 or 2 man or 3 or 5 man shows, they never really get above that. If it was easy to grow a monster company full of monster techs, we'd be in trouble because they'd be able to price the market a lot farther down. They'd be able to put some savage right in your market and support them. But it's not easy. So we're all able to like throw up a sign on our truck and have 500 5-star reviews in 3 years and think we're the world's best businessmen, when really we're kind of insulated. It's hard to get over that hump, especially if you guys have you know, on this training topic, I'm sure you both have trained multiple people over the years in different capacities. The ones that seem to make it are the ones that come to you when they're like 18 to 22 because they don't have any bills. They don't need to make money. But when you get a guy who's like 35, 36, he's got a wife, he's got 2 kids or 1 on the way, he's like, when am I going to start making the $100,000? I'm like, dude, you haven't done anything. You don't have a skill set. You're going to make it when you can start doing something. And they just can't take that 3-year investment in themselves because they need money too bad. So those guys flame out all the time.
Yeah, I determined that if I'm going to hire somebody, they've already had to make that initial investment in themselves, at least for the skill part of it. You know, the tools I can help with, right? The tools are the easiest part of it, right? So like one of the guys that I have working for me.
That's a lot. That's the reason some of my customers don't do their own dents. It's the only reason. They just don't have the tools.
That's the only reason.
Yeah. They do it themselves if they had the tools. They just don't, though.
I love that.
So the guy I have working for me, he came to me and asked for a job. And I'm like, well, here's what I want. You need to come to the shop for a whole day. And initially, I need you here for a day. I need to see what you can do. And so he came up for a day, and I put a dent in front of him. Actually, let me back up. Before, I had him take a character test because I determined now that I'm not going to hire on skill and I'm not going to hire on tools because both of those things I actually teach, or I can give you tools and I can teach you the skills. So my first thing is, what kind of person are you? Like just ground level, I had him take a Enneagram test and kind of see what personality and how he is, and then I can determine, because there's some things that are just not teachable, right? Like the work ethic, character, morals, lots of things that I learned early on that I had reverse of that. I had great ability and all the tools, but not the greatest of person.
You didn't have that? Or with people you brought on?
Let's just say scenarios I've seen.
Got it.
I've seen it where it's like, they have all the bells and whistles, but they're a horrible person. And I said, all right, I'm not going to hire on those things because I can teach the PDR skills and I can get you the tools. So let's start at what kind of person are you? What kind of character are you? Obviously, he was a PDR tech, but I wasn't focusing on the dent. It was what kind of person are you? So then I had him take the character test.
Tell me about this character
test? The Enneagram test.
Enneagram,
yeah. You've never taken the Enneagram tests?
No.
They take about 45 minutes. No, they're pretty sick. You're gonna do it, and then your whole family's gonna do it. It basically groups you into, I think, 1 of 8. There's a couple different ones you can take, but
like your personality tendencies.
Yeah. And they're very helpful. They're very helpful. But I had him take one of those so I can know where he falls on the scale.
And are there certain things you're looking for that would disqualify a person, or on the positive side, qualify?
Well, that's not necessarily going to point out like an evil, immoral thing. It's just going to say, hey, this person is reactive, or this person is proactive, or this person. So it's just going to help you understand the person. So now when I'm sitting here and I see him say A or B or do these things, I can understand he's not being a prick. It's just that's his personality.
Got it.
So it just helps you understand what kind of, and there's certain personalities that clash, right? So like, okay, if, for example, I don't know, if a 6 doesn't work with a 3, and I'm a 6 and he's a 3, we're probably not going to be a good fit, right? So like there are some compatibilities within it that need to make sense there. But anyhow, I had him start there, and then I had him come in and do the dent work for a day, and he passed. He did good, and I said, okay, well, I mean, I'd like you to stick around for a week, and I need to see further. I need to see how you interact with the team. I need to see how you interact here. I need to see how you talk with customers. There's some things that I have to see that a day won't get me. So come here for a week, and I'll pay you for your time. I'm going to put you on cars. At that point, I trusted him to work on a car. Like, okay, so he already passed the initial test. So I'll pay you for your time. It could be a daily rate or a weekly rate or whatever you want to do. And then I just saw how he interacted and moved with the team here and with the customers and whatever those little things that you need to see.
So you basically have tryouts. You're not training someone, you're having tryouts.
A tryout.
Yeah.
And then after that, I basically said, okay, and this, to be honest, this person had 0 tools. When I say 0 tools, he didn't own a knockdown. Maybe he owned a knockdown. Like that was all he had. And so I'm like, okay, not a problem. I can get you tools. And so we got tools, and we worked out a payment plan, and we paid it off, and he's great. So far.
So you helped him get his own tools. You didn't do like his previous employer, which says, here's my tools, you can use them. No. Why did you choose to do that?
Because I think something is different when you take ownership in it. Like, let's just say the training. You're going to appreciate the training when you pay for it, right? I mean,
absolutely.
As opposed to if someone else is paying for it, like I don't care. I'm not. How committed? Because you're not gonna swipe the card if you're not committed to the thing,
right?
And so if you're committed to the thing, then you're going to see the value in the thing that you're going to pay for.
Sure.
And so whether or not it's the training or the tools, like I want them to take ownership of those things. And I'm just being fair. Like I am a tech, and I was a tech for a larger company. It's like you should have your own tools. Like I know you're not going to be here forever, and like at some point you're going to want these tools for later on, wherever it is, wherever this path takes you. It's probably not here at some point. I hope it's here for as long as possible, but at some point you're going to want these things. So I'll help you get started because I like you as a person. So I'll help you get going and get you some tools at a discounted rate and set you up for success. And so that's the path I took. And the kid's awesome. If he quit today, he'd walk out with all his tools, and it's all paid. It's all good. And I would understand, okay, now I got to put somebody else in that thing.
And then at what point do you write a bunch of fake 1-star reviews for him? Right away?
I don't know, man. Dude, isn't it crazy? Like I always say how vulnerable you are as a business owner.
Right.
I never knew how vulnerable I was as a business owner until I was a business owner. And so we had a homeless guy come in here last week, and
you can't say that in California. His experience in homelessness.
Experiencing homelessness? My gosh.
Don't define him, bro.
He defined himself by the
we
color
call
of his
him
hands and his
crackheads.
fingernails. So, just going on the vulnerability part. So, I was standing in my lobby with.
Was he a crackhead or was he just?
He was a crackhead.
Yeah.
So
can y'all say that?
Yeah, we got a lot of crackheads, but you guys have bath salts here. We don't have that. Because
we got them discount drugs over here.
Yeah, he might try to eat part of your body. You got to be on.
Bro, he looked
on
like
alert.
it. He looked like it. Oh, I was on alert. But so he
came in the shop.
So I was standing in the lobby with a customer that was literally leaving, about to leave. We were just kind of small talking before he walked out, and this guy walks in, and me and the customer both looked at each other, and he was like, "Gotta go."
Later.
Y'all smelled him.
So he comes in.
Of all the places to walk in, this is a dangerous one. You're gonna leave with holes in your body.
Well, I mean, so he comes in, and he's "Hey man, you mind if I get a coffee?" I said, "Sure, buddy, get you a coffee. I'd love for you to take coffee. Like, get you coffee. I'm not that guy. Like, no coffee for you.
Right.
Yeah, get a coffee. Sure. I mean, I got snacks. Take it, man. You're like,
Yeah.
Let him know if he ever gets hail damage.
yeah, if you ever get a dent on you,
Dude, if your box ever gets damaged with hail, I sell boxes.
I could just pay him with a shopping cart to go around and ding up cars. No, so I said, "Sure, man, get you coffee." And he sat there, and I watched him, bro. And I have a manageable distance from him, and so he's making his coffee, and I'm kind of helping him, and he's making an absolute mess. And I'm watching this, and I'm just like, this guy, he's ripping off. He put no less than 20 sugar packets. He took all my sugar, like my wife had to replenish. He put no less than 20 sugar packets in it.
Even the way you're doing it is that he's ripping them in half.
Dude,
Right?
and half of it's falling, right? And I got a little trash can, and he's missing the trash can, but like not even caring. It's just all falling on the floor. But I was watching him, and he wasn't like being deliberate. I think it was just something wasn't right. It wasn't like
He was thinking about something else.
yeah, it wasn't like he was intentionally doing it.
I know what he was
just
thinking about.
He did it, and I'm like, that dude just completely missed a trash can, and he hit it like he looked like he hit the trash can, like the way he reacted. And he had
He said, Kobe.
He's shooting threes.
he had no less than 7 or 8 creamer packets that he poured in.
He was trying to get his daily calories in.
And he's stirring, it's spilling all over the
Future
thing.
barista.
It's spilling all over the thing. And he's just making an absolute mess. And I'm just small talking to him, and like, yeah, buddy. And so my wife walks in, and she
looks at the situation.
she looks at the situation. She comes back here, and she's
thinking she's in Jumanji.
And so I stand at a manageable distance from him that I can kind of read everything and block him from the shop, But I'm being nice. I'm not being confrontational at all. And so he does his deal, and he walks out of the shop. And he went back into like our business park more. And so I said, "Hey, Deacon, do not lose eye contact don't lose eye with that guy.
Send up the drone.
Do not lose a visual. Go out there, take out the trash, smell the flowers, whatever you want to do. Keep eyes on that guy and let me know. Make sure he's not checking cars or something."
And he's moving faster now because he's caffeinated.
So my wife, she's like, "What are you doing? Why'd you let him do that? You know how bad that looks for our business?" And I'm like, okay, I could have done that. I could have easily said, "Hey, get out of here. Don't you come back." But the guy can come back and throw a brick through my window
Take a dump
tonight.
in front of your
He can
door.
take a dump in it. Like,
Yeah.
like, what am I supposed to do?
Make
like
a friend.
So I would rather
Yeah.
take your coffee. I will
Yeah.
clean up your area
Sure.
whenever I will and be on your way. And we are buddies because I hooked you up with a coffee
Yes.
as opposed to like, get out of here. Don't you come back. Blah, blah, blah.
You made an enemy with a guy with nothing to lose.
Yeah. Like,
Did you consider giving him the personality test?
You looking for work, buddy?
so in that respect, it's like there's a vulnerability.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like that guy could easily cost me either money, time,
Anything.
all the above.
Yeah.
With, just a rock through the window, as opposed to take the coffee and be gone.
I figured that out when I opened a semi-permanent shop doing hail for the first time. I was taken aback at how I felt like I was in a zoo on display. Anybody could just come check me out, and I had no control over who it was. Versus growing up running a mobile company, you're like, who are you? Where are you? What are you all about? Okay, you can see me. I'll drive to your house. Otherwise, I'm invisible. Good luck finding me. I could be right next to you. But when you got the shop, like, here I am. Come on in. Anybody can come in. Crazy people, cool people, all of them. They're walking in.
And reviews. Reviews are how people find my business. I would say
They don't find it by a sign. I can tell you that.
yeah, like you've been. People go 80 down this road right here. Like, you're not going to find me. Even if you're looking for me, you're going to pass me. Like if there was a sign out here. So people find me through
Literally happened today. for me, and it's the same thing I did last year.
You blew past it?
Yes, and I knew where it was because the two buildings look like the two complexes look similar.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that's it. Maybe it's the next one. Missed it.
But all of it, like people find me through Google, and all it takes is a bad interaction with the customer to rain on that parade. Like one bad review can really, and how do you control a bad review? Like you have zero control over that. We try to like curate it, but like you can't control that. It takes like what he said, some pissed off person you had no interaction with who can leave you a 1-star review. It's happening right now. There's some guy on Facebook that
Yeah, that's what's on the top of my mind.
is going through it. And it's like, dude, it sucks because there's so much vulnerability as a business owner.
Somebody wrote him like 4 or 5 1-star reviews and within an hour. Obviously fake.
Yeah.
Right?
And that could be competitors. That could be a customer, whatever those are. Like,
It would be hard for me to believe it's a customer. It's almost always got to be a disgruntled competitor. What customer would go through that effort? They just bomb you with their real name and one awful review if it was a customer.
Yeah.
But it's got to be some stupid competitor who thinks the only way to win is to bring you down.
So let's get specific here a little bit. All right. So we're talking about, let's say you have an established business. You're making money, right? You're making decent money. This is not for someone who's just starting out, right? So let's go wholesale specific ways that you can reinvest in your business. Wholesale specific. I have some things written down. You guys chime in. In all of these things, I think it's very important to always try to have everything you're doing in your business consistent, right? Like your brand, what you look like, what you're saying online, everything should be aligned, right? Aligned with your business. If you're the cheap guy, everything should be pointing to the fact that you're the cheap guy. If you're expensive, everything should be pointing to that you're expensive. So you just want to have everything aligned. So wholesale specific ways that you can invest in your business. If you're doing dealerships, stuff like that. So one thing I said is your appearance. Like think about the investing in your appearance.
Can I take you back a step though?
Take it back.
Like back to the original question of what game are you playing?
Okay.
So if you're going to do wholesale, you're doing wholesale right now, cool. How do you want it to go like 1 or 2 or 3 years from now? Do you just still want to be by yourself, like a total sniper? Completely different way you're going to spend your time and effort. Do you want to replicate yourself with like 1 or 2 people so you guys can both just do the same thing, but in more like you want to be in more than one place at the same time? That's kind of a model to me, like the SEAL team, just like you and 2 other guys that would die for you, and you guys are going to take over this part of town, and everybody's a killer, and everybody's working like you're just cloning yourself, kind of. Or are you trying to build more of a little team, and then you manage a team? Like, do you want to get off the tools? I think those are like probably the 3 most common paths that are realistic that I see over and over again. And I think I'd have a different set of recommendations on all 3.
Yep.
I think most common is like you just want to work by yourself and you want to make more money and do less crappy work and enjoy your life better and make more money. That's probably most common. You guys agree?
Yes, absolutely.
So we could stick to that mindset, but I would have different ideas if you're trying to do the other 2.
Okay, let's go for the first one first.
Okay.
The most common. It's just you. You're just trying to solidify yourself in this dealership, make a good impression, and maybe when people in that dealership go somewhere else, they want you to be there too.
Yeah.
so I have my top thing, and I think it would encompass all those that Keith described. Training. I think for some reason, like look at other industries.
This is a really good point that I wasn't going to think about, by the way. Props.
There's ongoing training in lots of other industries, especially let's just say high skill set industries like this. But let's just go to like automotive industry, like your mechanic. Like there's ongoing training that they go to, or body shop technicians. They go to these ongoing trainings. For some reason, our industry started and we got into this thing and we got our initial training. Well, let's just say the average 20-year tech. I mean, what did that initial training look like back then? I mean, a lot of it was wonky. Maybe it was very minimal. Like I could say I wasn't officially PDR trained.
Yeah, I don't think I really was either. It was more like, hey, follow these guys around and do what they do.
Yeah, you were like on the job, you were apprenticed, but like no one ever trained me like I train guys.
Right.
Never happened.
No.
But there's a lot of guys that are in the industry that are like that have never been formally trained, that are out there fixing dents and doing cars. But like, I would say somehow we've escaped this need for this ongoing training, and I think it's at a disadvantage to us. I think with the how fast the industry. So like if there was this learning, like this timeline, like the PDR industry was this kind of flat, and within the last, let's just say 15 years, it's just really ramped up. As far
with
as
regards to like abilities and skills.
yes,
Yeah.
but with technology, I mean, let's just say cell phone technology. Cell phone technology was flat for so long, and then the iPhone comes out, and then it just shoots up, right? Okay, so I think PDR, everything has gone like that, and PDR is one of those things to where the tools, the cars, the things that we're encountering every day, you can't really afford to not have some kind of education or training on them. You know, I don't know how big the IMI electric car certification thing is anymore, but like right when that came out, I was like, I have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, whether or not that's relevant today, a whole nother discussion. But like, I jumped on that and I said, I want to be electric vehicle. I want to know what's happening with the electric vehicles, because if you touch something wrong, you die. On a 2002 Corolla, you touch something wrong, you're probably not going to die. You touch something wrong on a Tesla, you can die.
Yeah.
Like so there's a difference there. So a little education will go a long way with that. Or how about you drill a hole in the wrong place on a car and it could affect airbag timing and other people die and now you get sued. So there are some things that have changed in our industry that you really can't afford not to know or be at least in tune with. So I think there's some ongoing training, or let's just say even the tools, or the Power PDR box, which is you sell a version of.
Yeah.
I remember when it first came out, I was in Denver. I think it was 2016 when the Power PDR box first came out. I think. Let's just say it was 2016. And we were working in Denver, and we were working on stretch dents that we couldn't fix. They were oil canning. And then this machine comes out that can fix oil cans. And I looked at Will and I'm like, I think I gotta go buy one. He's like, dude, they're $2,000. I'm like, forget the money. What if I can't fix these? Like the game just changed. We went from like the goalpost is here. We can't fix oil can dents. And now the goalpost just got moved. Now we can fix them. So I'm either going to be on this side of it or I'm going to be on that side of it. Yeah. So I need to invest in myself and go buy this thing so that I can continue in this progression of this industry. So whether or not it's tools or whether or not it's training, I think the industry continues to move and you have to move with it. If you don't, you become irrelevant. And that could be pricing. That could be the tools. That could be training on how to use the tools, where to use the tools, all these things. The electric vehicle things. I mean, there's so many things that I think you cannot afford to just have your head in the sand and, not invest in those things.
I love that. I don't think very many wholesale only guys ever think about more training.
Why do you think that is?
No, they're not trying to do perfect repairs. By and large, I'm not calling anybody out specifically, but by and large, you'll hear guys say like, well, if you're trying to make it perfect at a dealer, you're losing money. This is a price game, a time game. They don't care if it's perfect. So those guys are, in general, are not really trying to be the best. They're just trying to do this task well. But all three of us know that with better training and better tools, you can do the job better and faster.
Faster, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you can fool yourself into thinking it's faster, and sometimes it isn't faster. Like it takes a long time to set up a panel properly, but it's better. So sometimes it's faster and better. Sometimes it's just better. Sometimes it's just faster. It's not always everything. But most wholesale guys are not after that. They don't care. They're like pride themselves on carrying 6 tools, and you guys have heard the whole thing a bunch of times. So I think they would be a lot better if they got some more training. But the 2 things from my story that I would tell you if you're all wholesale is be careful of being overcommitted to one dealer, because they can rug pull you in a second, and you're the only one that's going to be hung out to dry. So I would encourage even a wholesale guy to have a retail presence as a little safety net. Have your retail customers meet you at the dealership. It's perfectly fine. You find a way to make it happen. I would always tell the dealers, like, hey, how much do you spend to get somebody to drive onto your lot every month? $40-$50. I'm going to get them to come here for free, and they're going to be here for 2 hours. So you got 2 hours to sell them a car while I fix their dent. And say, well, I'm going to do these cars. So if you'd rather me just pack up and leave and do it across the street and risk not coming back, I can do that. But here, I'm just going to take a break for an hour, work on their car, and turn around and keep working on yours. So you can make a pretty compelling case for doing them there, and they know about it.
That's a great case.
But build that site. At least you need to have a place to showcase your work so that you have a little bit of a hedge against these guys rug pulling you. But as far as making an investment, wholesale is very, very relationship based. It's 1 or 2 decision makers in that building that are deciding whether you are working there or not. So I would say literally invest money in fostering relationships. Take some guys out to ball games, concerts, invite them to go shoot, whatever it is that you do that you can share with them, like on purpose on paper, make plans and spend money to foster those relationships like you're dating somebody. A lot of these relationships just casually happen, like, oh, Jim's pretty cool. We talk a little bit about this and that, and then he's my guy. But none of us would be married if you approached the relationship with your future wife the same way. Like, oh, she's pretty cool. Once in a while we hang out. Like, no, you're planning dates. You're picking times, places. We're doing it on purpose.
I pay someone else to go talk to her once a week.
So I think if you want to develop the relationship with these people, you be intentional about it. Is that everybody, like you said, one of you said earlier, that guy may leave and go somewhere else and want to work with you. That's how you grow your wholesale business without any marketing. You have these core people, they like you. The car business is a revolving wheel. They get off one dealership and they get onto another one, and then they say, you got to come here. Then you meet those guys and you go viral that way.
So a guy that we both know that is a painter, like a mobile wholesale painter, who is pretty successful. He's got several guys that work for him. He goes to every dealer that he does every week and writes the lot up, talks to the manager, and sets his guy up with the work. His guys don't walk the lot and don't get work approved. And like, there's pros and cons to that, but like, he has a pretty big business.
Oh, and he knows what's going on with each account. It's not a surprise to him if something's going haywire.
Yeah.
Well, he's curating the work. He knows he's not letting his guys like walk around stuff that should be fixed or cherry pick it or whatever they want, whatever. He knows the inventory, and he's pricing the things like, hey, this one's outside of this, whatever. And so he can make sure that that's not getting taken advantage of. I mean, it's a lot more responsibility on you to do that. But on the trade-off of that is
none of those guys are stealing his accounts.
No one's going to run off of that dealership.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even know who to talk to.
Last time I talked to him, he was starting a body shop somewhere in St. Augustine. Did you hear that?
No.
He's like, man, I figured out you can get $2,000 a bumper. We've been doing them for $275.
I was talking to him, and I was just kind of talking to him about his business, and I was like, it'd probably be way easier for you to hire a body shop manager than it would for you to hire somebody to manage your wholesale accounts. Yeah. Way easier, because there's people who know how to do body shop, manage a body shop. There's a lot of those people, but that's a hard thing to do, to hold on to wholesale accounts whenever you have other people going in there like that.
Yeah.
He's the only guy I know. Even Think about Dent Wizard. They don't do that. Nobody does that.
What?
The manager or the owner is walking the lot and getting work approved.
So I was told that they're doing that now. There's account managers.
They used to do that, right?
So I used to walk my own accounts and talk to my managers, and every ounce, so every car that came through me curating that, right? The managers were show up once a month to bring you some new forms or envelopes or whatever. Like they didn't even know.
Here, fill this out.
The managers were walking in and talk to the used car manager, and they didn't know, and there was no connection. Like they knew me, I was their dent guy.
Yeah.
And so you have this kind of control. And I've experienced that too, where technicians have left and they've taken accounts because they kind of take ownership of that dealership. And so that is a very real thing for me, that I have to make a decision of how much do you give ownership to the technician to handle his things on his own versus how much am I going to touch this account? Because
what do y'all do practically? Do y'all, with the wholesale accounts that you have other technicians doing?
Right. I have this idea about trust, and I call it trust is binary. You either trust somebody or you don't trust them. So if you trust them, you just got to trust them. And if you don't trust them, you got to fire them. So, all of us have a little demon in our head, like with some doubt, I wonder what's happening. So I just kind of to crap test my own idea. I'm like, well, Keith, do you trust him? Yeah, I trust him. All right, then leave him alone. Trust him that he's not trying to steal your store. If you don't trust him, fire him right now. Because that means you got a thief working for you if you don't trust him. So that's how I make sense of it. I trust them to do their job. I still try to maintain some semblance of relationships with the people at the dealerships. Here's the challenge.
You've said it on your podcast that was one of your regrets, was not going into those dealers over the years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do regret it, but I don't know that if I went back in time that I would do it different. Because the example you just gave, that's a 40-hour-a-week job. Walking every store, going in there going, oh man, you see that game? That was crazy how they almost scored and then they didn't score. And then when they came back, the other team scored. Dude, wild. You have to have that conversation 10 times a day. And you don't make any more money doing that job. You just protect what you have. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could argue you make a little more because you write up a couple harder dents, but you can't make somebody do them. The dude be like, oh, I ran out of time. I'm gonna fix it. They're only going to do what they're going to do. I can't make them do more. So I could protect all my stores, but I'm working for free essentially. And I didn't like the trade-off. And I don't know that makes sense, but that's,
well,
that's just what happened.
This goes into us investing in our thing, because that is an investment, right? Like, for me to invest in this sign in this wall, I have to understand there's a return, or it is what it is, right? And so, like, if I have to see value in this thing, which it's either a short-term return, which means money in my pocket, or the long-term return, which is I retain this account, or builds up this account base that I can sell later on to a big company if it comes knocking. So, like, I guess it depends on where you see that value. Do I see the value in? So that guy sees the value in. He thinks it's worth it for him to curate those accounts, so that he can manage those accounts. Because when you're a wholesale business, that's all you have is accounts, right? The lights don't come on unless.
And you don't even have accounts unless you're the one outlier who signs contracts. None of us sign them because why would the dealer sign them? Dan Ontrop, do you guys know him?
I know of him.
No.
He's very cool. You should meet him at MTE. Very cool, very smart guy. But he's got a whole contract package that he uses that he sells. And he uses this pitch to lock up dealerships specifically for hail before it's hailing. Like comes in and pitches them before it's hail. I'm like, hey, what are you going to do if it hails? Or, here's my program and here's how it works. And but he comes with a contract that they sign, and it's It's well thought out, and I can't speak to whether specifically you would use it in just a wholesale only scenario, but he's one of the reason I remember it is because it's one of the few people who are getting dealers to sign a contract. Without a contract, it's not worth anything to anybody. It's anybody's to take, you know. Any one of our dealerships could be stolen tomorrow, no matter how cool you are, no matter how much the manager likes you. Someone comes in just like you who's just as good and does cars for $40 a car. They're like, Matt, you're amazing, but you know, my manager's telling me I got to switch to this guy, and he's good. He's even better than you, and he's $40. You know, they're going to switch, but a contract will prevent them from doing so or have penalties for them doing so. Then it has some value that you could sell.
But wouldn't you say a contract is only worth anything if you're going to enforce it?
Sure. Yeah.
And they're like, so let's just say, hypothetically, Keith hires me to come do dents for him in California, and he puts me in this dealership, and I'm working there for 2 years, and I'm building these relationships, and Keith's onto other ventures because Keith doesn't have time to go do this dealership, but Matt's doing it. And so Matt builds this relationship up with this guy, and Matt's high-fiving this guy every time he shows up and every time he leaves, and Keith's just kind of off the map. And then Matt decides he's going to quit one day, and that guy wants Matt as his dent guy, but Keith has to be the one to walk in there and says, oh, no, you're not allowed to use Matt. You have to use me. So now you have this thing where, like, how do you enforce? Like, it's a bad situation. Like, they don't want to use you.
Right.
They're going to, like, is the contract going to make them use you? And even if they do use you, are they going to give you the work that you want?
Correct.
Like, so, like, you have this, like, this thing that, like, even though I have a contract, like, now the contract doesn't mean nothing unless I'm going to enforce this thing.
Completely agree. Yeah, and even if you enforce it and you win, you have bad faith. You know, you have people that are obligated by paperwork to have you there and they don't want you there.
Sure.
Yeah, we're doing one car this month.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the contract. So, like,
I agree with you. I mean, it's the reason why I don't push for it. But, you know, if you're talking about having value.
I think hail would be a little different. I mean, that's kind of I don't know, maybe like a one-time thing or an event-focused thing, where this is just kind of this perpetual thing. But I think it, like, for us, we have, I don't want to disclose too much information about my business, but I will say we have a retail business that we do, and then we do some rental car business here, and then we do dealership businesses. And I try to be diversified between those three lines of business. And with the rental side, I curate that. Me and my wife curate that. Is that the right word?
You control
Am I using that correct?
You manage the relationship.
I manage that relationship.
I think it's correct.
Okay. So we do that. And then some of the wholesale accounts we curate. The ones that, for whatever reason, maybe they're most valuable or the best. Those relationships are just easy with those managers, or maybe distance, whatever, let's just say. So some of them we curate, and some we trust our technicians to do. And then the retail, obviously, that's kind of speaks for itself. I mean, it's
you control all that.
You control it, but that doesn't mean like I still allow my technicians to go out there and quote cars and do a job and take money.
You're part of the process.
If I'm not here, like, I'm not going to, like, let me handle all that. Like, so they still do that. But so I don't say that. I would say it's kind of situational for us. But we do see the value in having our hands on it and curating some of it, because I don't want no offense, my 25-year-old technician determining my fate at this national company if I'm going to show up there tomorrow because he had a bad day, or he didn't have a bad day, or he's late, or he fixed it in, or he couldn't, or he overpriced something that he shouldn't, or whatever those things are.
Or maybe there's somebody there that said, hey, we'd love to have you take over all these locations in the East. And he's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, let's push Matt out altogether.
No, I'm saying just drop the ball and, like, not follow up on it. Like, no, I just need to get done with this car today so I can go home.
Yeah. So we try to be involved with that. I mean, because it's my business.
It is. It's the right thing to do. I'm not proud of the fact that I'm not staying connected with all these guys. It's just hard to do everything
No, it 100% is. And I think it's, like I said, it's situational. And you have to kind of pick and choose where you see value, because there's only so much time in the day that Keith can do and Matt can do.
And honestly, I think the dealers, a dealer, just like a corporation isn't a person, the dealer isn't a person. It's a bunch of people making a bunch of decisions. But in general, these dealers, you can't really trust them. Not that they're people, but they're organizations, especially with Lithia buying everything.
What is that?
Lithia Auto Group. They're probably not out here yet.
That's a type of battery?
No.
It's a very low voltage battery. No, it's a giant auto group. I think they own more dealers than anybody in the country, and they keep scooping up stores and scooping up stores. Like, they own thousands of stores.
Wow.
I could be off on the number, but it's a giant number. But it's kind of like Caliber. When it was your local MSO, you knew the principal guy. He was cool. You helped him out. They helped you out. And as soon as it's Caliber, like, no, they don't even pay you.
So we had a dealership here that we curated. Knew the manager really well. Going back to the buying gifts, like, I'm not just buying them like generic Crown Royal one size fits all stuff. Like, I bought him an Origin gi because he trained jiu-jitsu, and
cool.
I'm like learning about him and then buying him special things, and like we became buddies, and it was a local family owned dealership here that we have great connections with. My wife can walk in there, she can know anybody in the dealership, and I can. And we ride the lot, we curate it all. And they got bought out. Mm-hmm. I didn't see it coming. They
keep those under wraps. They don't tell anybody until the day it happens.
We showed up, and it was all the suits showed up. We're there. We're walking a lot. My wife's like, oh, there's a bunch of people in suits here. I don't know what's going on. Supposedly they've been sold, and they're assessing all the inventory. And so anyhow, we had to do trial dents to keep the dealership. Like, they brought us dents, and we're like, hey, we're determining if we want to continue using you or not, and here's some test dents. And it's like, okay, give me whatever. Like, sure. And so we did it, and we passed the test, and they kept using us. And so like they were going to keep on certain people in the dealership, like they made in the contract, like, this person's going to stay, and we're like, okay, well, half the people are going, but half the people we like are staying. And it's like within a month, everyone was wiped out. And it's all new faces. I could walk in that dealership and maybe know a salesman or two right now.
It happened to me at a Mercedes. Yeah, 2 Mercedes stores that had the same owner. Like, overnight, boom. Different music on the showroom floor. Like, everybody's dousing a gallon of cologne. Like, the whole place is a different store. Dude, management really matters. The ownership really matters.
My wife was like, because she's fairly newer to the involvement in the business, although she's been my wife for 25 years, she's only been active in the business for, let's just say, the last 5. And so she still sees the volatility in that, where I'm kind of like, listen, we're going to lose that dealership, we're going to get another one over here. Here's one thing I know. At some point in my career, I've done every dealership in Jacksonville or St. Augustine. Like, I've been in everyone doing dents, and I don't anymore. So times will change. I will, just like we talk about, technicians won't be here forever. That dealership's going to, at some point, we're not going to be there, but this one down here will be our best dealership. And that's just the evolution of it. Like, it will happen, and you have to understand that's coming, and don't be surprised by it. And so I've been kind of preparing her for that. And so when this happened, it wasn't as volatile for her, because she, women like comfort and stability, and she saw that happening. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, let's just relax. Could be a good thing. Here's what could happen. Let's just say they keep us, and we keep that dealership. And let's just say they bought it because they want to build it up and make it a better. And now we get more cars out of that dealership. And how about this? How about all the managers we love go to another place, and now we get that dealership? So now we just kind of doubled our capacity, like our dealerships, because they bring us on to these other places. And so, like,
that's totally realistic too.
100% realistic. Like, that is typically how that would work. If you were planting those seeds right in the relationship, like, you would just continue to exponentially grow if that happened continually. So unfortunately, my guy was retiring out of the business after that. He's like, I'm done. So I was like, dang it.
Do you want to like have a party and introduce me to a few hundred guys?
Yeah, I've tried that avenue with him, but he's yeah. But that's just the thing is like one thing that is consistent is inconsistency. Like you have to know that that's coming and just be not shocked when it does.
Agree.
So,
when you said investing in retail as a wholesale, if you're in wholesale investing in retail, man, that helps so much. Just the fact that you like I only have a handful of dealers, but I'm not afraid to lose them because I know I'll just do more retail because I've invested in that, and that is, man, that's so freeing.
That's a good way to put it, because you do feel beholden to the dealers when you have, say, you had 4 or 5 dealers.
Yeah,
you can't lose one.
No,
you just feel like you can't, and so they'll drive you to do things that you don't want to do. Like, can you do this for this price? And you go, gosh.
I feel like if you have that edge to where, like what you were just saying, like if I lose the dealership, whatever. I feel like you walk in there differently than you do if you're walking in there like, oh my gosh, I hope they give me work. I hope they don't kick me out. I hope, I feel like it's a totally different vibe that you're giving off, and your life is different.
Completely agree. I even get down on people, my guys specifically, for using just certain words when they're talking about wholesale. And you said one right there, like, they go, how did it go? They only gave me, such and such. I'm like, listen, they don't give you anything. They hire you to do the dents, or they don't. And if they don't want any dents done, like those cars didn't need dents done for whatever reason. But as soon as when you use this language of them being in this superior position and like, oh, they're not going to give me any work, or they're not going to let me do any cars. Like, I would encourage you, if that's your internal dialogue, to change those words, because you just show up different if you have this idea that you're the servant to this master at the dealership. Hope he gives me work. I hope he lets me do some cars. And like, oh, there wasn't any work. Come on, man, can you just let me do a few cars? Like, this is an awful relationship. You got to look at it completely different. You're providing a service to them. You're providing the value to them. You're doing something that no one on that whole property can do. And if they don't see the value in it, then it's probably a bad account. So that, like, they're not giving you work. You're giving them your time. Super talented skill.
I like to say that I'm not your dent guy. I'm part of your sales team. I'm helping you sell cars. Mm-hmm. If I'm not helping you sell cars, then I'm not supposed to be here. Like, the whole goal is I help you sell cars. I just do it this way by twisting the metal and making the cars look good. I mean, the detail company helps you sell cars.
Yep.
The mechanics help you sell cars. Everyone's part of the sales force that helps get the cars sold. And the more cars I can help you sell, the more cars you're going to replace and have me continue in that process or cycle.
We just did this topic on the PDR College podcast. I think it posted yesterday, tips for wholesale, like what to do and what not to do for wholesale. And that's completely the way I word it. I'm like, you are there to help them sell cars. If you stay true to that concept, you can basically screw everything else up and keep this store forever. If you just remember, the minute you walk on that store, your job is to help them sell the cars. Everything you do will be in alignment with what they want, and you're going to keep the account for a long time. But as soon as you start looking at it like they're there to pay you, you're there to make money, and you start cherry picking the lot, or only making what you need to make for the day and leaving, the whole thing, it's a matter of time until it's dead. But if you show up with that same attitude, I'm just here to help you be a salesperson, you just do different things. Like, I'm sure you've had this scenario, you're working on a lot, some customers mulling around, you're like, this guy's not getting help. And you talk to him, you go, hey, do you need somebody to talk to? You need some help? Let me go grab somebody for you. You're like, I'm literally want to do everything I can to help them sell more cars, because if they sell more cars, I'm going to fix more dents. I'm like, I'm bought in on this ecosystem.
We say it to the salesman too. Like, how many times have you been back there? Let's say you got a handful of keys and you're working, and the salesman comes back, hey man, you got these keys. I just sold this car. Sorry. And I'm like, don't be sorry. Like, you sold the car. Like, that's what we're here for. So, like, good. Like, we didn't have to touch it. I mean, so, like, it's just those.
Secretly, I'd like to fix
Of course. Yeah, I love to run through them, of course. And hopefully,
Okay, here's
there's
a
a
wholesale.
strategy to
Here's a
that,
pro
too.
tip. You got a list of 20 cars. 100% start on the easiest ones.
Easiest
first.
ones
100%.
first.
The little tiniest ones, do all of them.
Absolutely.
Every single one.
Yep.
They'll ask you to do the smashed one first. Like, hey, can you jump on this one? It's the ugliest. I'll tell them totally.
Yes, but I'm not going to do it.
Yes. But I'm cold. I haven't done anything yet. Let me get warmed up on all these other little dents, get my muscles moving, get my tools moving, and get them warm.
Let the sun warm up the
Yeah, and then
panel.
I'll sit down on that big one because I'm going to be here all day.
But it's the ethical thing to do too, because let's just say there's 20 cars that need work done.
Right.
Okay.
You got to.
And there's one that's bad. So I could spend half a day on this one and not get any of these 20 done.
It's true.
Or I could get most of these done and spend the rest of the day on this one. And now we have all these cars ready for sale, or ready for frontline ready,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call that, as opposed to just one that looks good.
Yeah.
Right?
100% true.
And when I have, like, getting the keys to the car is not easy. You got to find the key.
Sometimes it's not.
And then you got the key, and it's just a matter of time before someone else comes and takes the key from you. So I'm always in a state of mind where I'm like, it's urgent that I get these done as fast as possible because they're going to go away.
This is another pro tip actually about keys. If it's a newer store, the worst thing you can do is take like 15 keys and put them on your hip. And some dude is spun the flip out for an hour. He doesn't know you, doesn't even know you are there. And he's trying to sell a car, demo a car. And like nobody knows that you just grabbed the key off a board. Oh, you'll make some enemies real fast. So I'm like, dude, if you're going to take 15 keys, you better like tell everybody you've got a bunch of keys and like, hey, just so you know, if somebody comes looking for keys, here's where I am. Here's how you can find me. Here's my card. Call me. I'll run right up. I'll bring the car around. Like, again, to your point, right? I'm there to help sell cars. If I'm just there to make money, it's like get 15 keys and hide in the back.
Yeah.
Or it's not a machine, right?
Yeah.
If it's a machine, I'm getting 15 keys.
Because they can easily know who
Yes.
has them and where you are. Yeah.
But the one dealer that I do that still has a board, that no one ever knows where the keys are. They're in some salesman's pocket that's off today.
for sure.
We usually take about 5. 5 is a good round number.
I agree. Like you take as many as you can fix and then bring the rest back. But selfishly, if it's like a low pressure dealership,
Oh, yeah.
take them all.
Yeah.
Take them all. If like you have a
They'll
good,
disappear.
yeah.
Someone's got them, and
That list is long enough. I also tell people if you're not going to do it today, don't even bother writing it because you're going to come back tomorrow. They're all moved in different spots. What you saw today is not there tomorrow. Like you might as well walk it again.
When I walk the lot, if it's like this one's easy, I'll put a little tiny dot for my own personal self, like that I know, like, gotta get this one. So if I'm going to pull keys, I might pull those first 5 immediately because I know those are just, gotta get those.
Yep.
are you ever afraid? Because I do something like that. Are you afraid that they'll be like, hey, what does this dot mean?
No, that's why I do a dot and not like a
Tiny
star
dot.
or like
Easy.
happy face or something.
Yes.
No, just a tiny dot. It's just my little cue that I know.
I've done I think we all do a lot of like similar to this, right? Well, this one's hard. This is easy, just so you don't forget. But then when you're walking the lot to show them the work, I always start with the hardest one first. Like, let's look at the hardest one. Do you want to fix that? Because if the answer is no, we're not going to look at these other 19. Because like, if you think this one's not bad, you're going to think I'm crazy. But if you show them the hard one, they're like, yep. And you keep going down to easier cars. And they're like, yep. How many more like this? 10? Yeah, go ahead and do them. But in the inverse, when you're like, come on, look at this. Oh, you got to crouch down, go across the street and like get down and look. And then you can see it. They're like, no, forget it. You know what? Don't do any of these cars. None of these
You
cars are
just,
big.
as soon as you did that, you gave that guy doubt, right? Like, is this guy, like, can I trust this guy? Is he doing this to me every week? You know, like, so like when we write a lot, I said, I'm only going to write up things that are justifiably there. And it comes with experience of like, this needs to be done. Or it's like, bro, like if my manager walks out here and sees that I wrote that up,
Right.
like he's not going to be happy with me. And I just lost tons of trust. And when you try to get trust back, it's harder than
Way harder.
Yeah. So like I always want to write up. I'm not trying to steal from the dealership.
No,
I'm
of course
saying that 100% honestly. I'm trying to write up cars that I think need to be fixed. And if it's small, then it needs to be justifiable and kind of visible. There's a reason I wrote it up, right? And not just I'm trying to write something up and get one over on the dealership.
I always felt good when I just tell them, like, hey, do you want these cars perfect? These 5, like, pretty small. You could sell the car with it, but if you want, these are certified, you want to make them perfect, let them make the call.
And if you do that, then they develop trust and they quit walking a lot.
Yeah.
They're not going to ask you to walk a lot. They're just going to trust you to do it. But I always have this thing is like at any point, if anyone walks back here and says, hey, what's on this car? I took it in on trade. I thought it was clean. I need to be able to point out to him what's on the car and not have him be like, are you freaking kidding me? You're not fixing. Like, no one can even see that. So, like, I always kind of have that, you know, front and center in my mind is like, anybody walks out here at any point, I need to be able to justify why I'm writing this up.
I actually thought, I talked about that on our show too. I'm like, I have this little voice in my head that if the manager came out and asked me to justify why I'm doing what I'm doing, does that conversation make me uncomfortable or is it easy? And the topic we were talking about is, you know, you have used car pricing and you have service drive pricing. And they're not the same. You don't want them to be the same. But I always imagine, you know, the manager saying, James, help me understand this. If I park this car right here, it's $85. But if I park it right there, it's $385. Can you help me understand that? And you're like, well, this one has a stock number. This one, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's like setting the groundwork before, like, if you can get all these cars in one place on the same day of the week, I can do them cheap. If you're one-off and I need to go to your service drive, I need to write an estimate, I need to meet Mrs. Sally, I need to get a PO, like, this is a completely different process, and it's going to happen any other day of the week. This is the pricing schedule for that work. Like, if you want Miss Sally's car to be priced like a used car, if you park it back there and put a stock number in it, I won't know the difference. I'll charge you all the same. But the price is based on me coming and working with a very high level of efficiency on a regular basis, not one-off estimates and one-off decision-making.
Plus the service drive, the customer 9 out of 10 knows where that dent was.
Right.
And
I personally don't like using that line because it sounds like you're not fixing them all the way.
No, but the price reflects it.
But you're not.
So, okay, a lot of the guys that I did train over the years would give me a hard time because my wholesale work is not much different than my retail work. And like, why do you make it so flat? Like, why are you doing so much? The kids today would say you're doing the most.
You're doing too much.
Yeah. But to me, and like, this is our training ground. If I get really good at making them perfectly flat here, it's going to be a lot easier for me on the cars that matter. And I personally really like fixing a dent 100%. It's very cool to look down the car and it's just like fixed. And how am I going to get faster at that if I never do it? Wholesale's a real trap for like, you rob yourself of the ability to be a high-level tech if you're like, well, it's just wholesale. I'm going to get it to 80 or 90%. They're not paying for blah, blah, blah. Give them an opportunity to pay for it. Maybe you never gave them the opportunity. Maybe you assumed their number one buying criteria is the price. And it might be right, but it might be wrong too. So give them an opportunity to, hey, do you want this thing like on the money? I can do it. It's going to take me 4 hours. So I can do it for $800. You know, but if you just want it close, you want to sell it, I can do it for a couple $100. But give them at least a chance to buy it and give yourself an opportunity to keep pushing the work to that level.
If we're talking about customary damage and we're talking about volume pricing, then I think there is a skill in being proficient to show up to a wholesale account and get the cars looking good enough for the price that they're determined to pay and not spending too much time on it. I think there's a proficiency thing because like the curse of the dent guy is I'm never finished with the dent, right? Like we always want to keep fixing it. Like that's the artistic curse that we all face.
Yeah.
And so like I think there is a skill and an art in going to a wholesale account and doing it good enough, fast enough that checks all the boxes that they're needing to check. Or we're not shredding holes and we're not making high spots and cracking paint. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about doing clean work to, let's just say 90, 95%, and then I'm done. No one knows where that dent was. I know where the dent was. I walked it. The manager never even came out because he trusts me. And I got that thing looking good, and no one's ever going to see that. Maybe if they come bring it in my shop and put it in the light tunnel, you might see something.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I wasn't getting paid to do that, right? So you have to know, for me, like, what am I getting paid to do? And so you want a premium repair, we can do that, but that's going to come at a different price than this volume price. And so I think if all you did was try to retail out every wholesale car at a dealership and you got 20 cars, you're not going to make any money. I mean, maybe because the guy, I mean, you can try to get this high price for it, maybe, but you're not going to get them on all 20 cars. And the guy behind you is going to come in and do it at a cheaper price.
Yeah, it's
and you're
probably
gonna be
true.
the retail guy.
But I think for me, the sweet spot is somewhere between what I'm talking about and what you're talking about. I'm shooting for perfect. If I can glass it fast, that's what I want to do. And then you have a parachute, like, oh, this one is stubborn, and it's close enough, and it can roll. But if I can get it perfect fast, I want to do it. I want to make them perfect. It's super fun, and it's the training ground. Like, okay, I can hustle this thing up and see what happens. Ooh, too aggressive. All right, next time, let's try not so aggressive. Let's try drilling a hole for this one. Let's try to do this one down the window. Like, it's training ground for how can I make really clean repairs fast. That's how I look at it.
Would it be fair to say that, generally speaking, maybe this fits, maybe it doesn't, that the most amount of the time in a dent is the end part, the finishing part?
For sure.
Right? So, I mean, maybe that fits sometimes, most of the time, but maybe not all the time.
The bigger the dent, the more so it's true.
Yes.
Right?
So, I think that's where dent guys get trapped, is just is that end part of, and when is it done, and how good is good enough, and that thing. And that's, I mean, part of what we train, right? Like, I mean, what we're doing here is trying to understand when it's done, what that looks like, and what you can do as a technician in a manageable amount of time, or whatever. So, I just think when I approach a job, I need to understand context. I'll give you another good example. We had a customer come up here 2 months ago, and he's like, it was Christmas week. He was like, my daughter's in town. She's got a big dent in the side of her car, and I'd like to get this fixed while she's here. She's leaving in like 3 days.
I get a bunch of those.
And I'm like,
Me too.
let's go see the car. We walk out there, and it was just the softest thing ever. In the quarter panel of like an Equinox, like white Equinox, just the softest thing. And I look at it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you two prices. I don't normally do this. I said, normally it's one price, but I'm going to give you two prices. So I can spend under a minute on this thing and make it look really good for $100. I don't even have to pull it in the shop. Into $100. And I'm telling you, a minute. And that might be long. Or I can give you the full price and then make it perfect. And you're going to need to drop it off. You're going to schedule. I want it for 2 days. We're going to take the taillight out and detrim the interior. And I'm going to make this thing look awesome. And that's another price. I said, but I understand that you don't have that time, and it's your daughter's car. And so that probably isn't the option you're looking for. I think you're looking for the first option. I mean, in my opinion. I wasn't trying to sell him. I was just trying to be real with the guy.
Objection leading the witness.
And he's like, I said, and let me just give you another out. I said, we can go with option one, and if it doesn't work out, then we can always go with option two, because I'm not going to hurt anything about what I'm about to do. So if we can at least do it, and if you don't like it, then you come back and we'll do the second price, and I'll give you the full workup and all that stuff. He's like, I think I'll go with option one. I'm like, I knew you were gonna say that. I literally walked here, got my cold glue side hammer and my align board and my Carbon Tech. What's that hammer? The soft face.
Whatever.
Yeah, and literally and I said, now watch. And he's standing right there, and I just bumped that thing out and blended down some crowns, and he was like, wow. I'm like, that's what I was trying to tell you. And I'm trying to be honest with you, because I want you to come back. Even this is your daughter's car. I want you to come back with your car later. And I'm trying to be fair with you. And so, like, that thing left with not perfect, some ripples in it. And so, like, I knew I wasn't going to get him at that other price. Maybe we can say that's head trash on my end, or maybe I'm wrong, but I was going with what I knew at the moment. I gave him option 1. He went with it. I think I made a customer for life. I made $100 in 30 seconds. That's not bad.
That's great.
Right? So now I got a lower price for a lower repair and a lot less time. I mean, wholesale is similar to that, right?
Yeah. I've done 8 of those in the last 2 weeks in the retail shop. So many of them.
Poppers?
No, just, hey, this is $8,000 to fix.
Yeah.
Or $2,000, and if you're looking dead on, it'll look great. Or just move the numbers around. One of them was like $1,500 to glass, or $600 looking at it dead on. It's again, a kid's car. He's going back to college. Like I do a bunch of those. I don't really like them, but like at the end of the day, I'm just there to help people. I'm like, and if a $2,000 repair doesn't make sense on a $15,000 truck, but a $600 repair does, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it does suck. It's hard for me to leave them. That you can ask my kid and the guys that work with me. I have a hard time getting off of them. I just want to stay and fix that because I just personally find it fulfilling to fix it all the way.
Well, you're trying to give the customer what they want and need, not what you want for them. For the wholesale customer and the retail customer, you're trying to match your product with what they want and need. You're trying to treat someone like you would want to be treated.
Yeah.
Ultimately. Do you guys think for investing in wholesale, do you think that the appearance of your vehicle matters? Because I think it does. And my vehicle looks good. And everything looks good with my vehicle. I pull up to another vendor. He's driving a 25-year-old Suburban. Half the side is rusted out. And he's making the same money as me doing interiors.
Yeah.
Close enough to the front to where people can see both of us. Do y'all think it matters? Vehicle appearance?
Yeah, for me, for sure. Now, that being said, I never had a stickered truck. I had magnets for a little while, but I always worrying about my tools. Mm. And with no stickers, you're just a ghost. Mm-hmm. So I never really worried about my stuff. And I think I missed a lot of opportunities. Like you have great branding on your truck. I'm positive you get phone calls from your truck, or at least people see the truck, they go to the website and they call you. So I think I've been missing out on that for my whole business career, just not having really nice branding. Because my service business has good branding and good logos and colors and everything, but I don't put them on the trucks. My trucks are always clean and put together, and there's no dents on them. And I push that pretty hard on my guys. I'm like, dude, if you can't fix a dent in your own truck, what are you saying about how much you care about this trade? It takes you 5 minutes.
So I think both of us are probably I don't think I'll have my vehicle the next time like it is now. No. I think I'll have it to where if you knew me, my brand, you would know that's my car. But if you didn't, you wouldn't catch it because it comes with a lot of drama too. Yeah. People driving down the highway and want you to roll your window down to give them an estimate on their car. And like, you just get a lot of trash.
If you have another personal car and you can park it when you're not using it, then great. But if you're also using it, now you're at work all day, every day, and you got to talk to people at the gas station. You got to drive better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm both ways on it. So, I have my van, which is wrapped. It's a partial wrap. You're not wrapping the whole thing. It's too much money.
But it comes across as a full wrap.
It looks like a full wrap.
Yeah.
It's an ordeal. And then we had the Scion that we were running, a little Scion XB that was full wrap. The question is like, who you have to understand, like, who are you wrapping for, right? Because the dealers don't care. Like, you're not gonna. I mean, maybe from a professionalism, there might be some kind of value there, but like from a marketing standpoint, like that doesn't matter. You could just have a nice car and look professional. You don't have to have a wrapped car.
But does the nice car matter? Like, take the wrap, take the branding.
I think it depends on what you mean by nice. So here's what I define, and,
Okay.
and this will go into visual appearance.
All right.
Also.
Okay.
So I think maybe me and Keith might be similar. We might be far apart in this. I don't know. We'll see. So the thing for my guys is, at the end of the day, everyone here is an artist, and we're weird. We're eclectic. Artists are that by nature, right? And usually the more artistic that person is, the more they kind of look the part. I mean, generally speaking. So
Do you think that people are artistic because of vaccines? Got him.
got him. So I don't want to stifle my guys from their artistic expression. So that's why. I mean, I don't want to be stifled. I was stifled from Dent Wizard. When I first started with Dent Wizard, they're like, hey, man, you got to cover up the tattoos and you got to wear a collared shirt every day. I'm like, okay, where do I sign? And then day one, I never wore any of that because I didn't want to do that. That's not me. I'm not trying to hide who I am. I want to be who I am.
This is why you don't trust contracts.
Correct.
Where do I sign?
But so like, I want to be who I am. And so my thing with my guys is like, listen, I need you to look good and professional and not like a homeless person. You know, you gotta have good hygiene. Your clothes have to be clean. They have to be fresh. You don't want holes all in them.
Right.
And if you need a non-holy shirt, I can get you one. But if you want to dress with some style, if you want to have tattoos, do that. Because ultimately, like for me, I mean, I'm kind of the front man of the business. I look a certain way. People walk in that door immediately and instantly they're making assumptions. Now there's assumption with my business and maybe there's assumption with me, and I can see the gray hairs that walk in and they instantly do this like, oh my gosh, did I sign up for this or not? Do I want to turn around immediately? But then I instantly have to overcome them with my personality, which I usually do pretty quickly. So, but then I know that they're there because they're here because I'm good at what I do. Maybe they just found me on Google, but maybe I'm good at what I do. And I'm an artist and I'm not going to hide from that. I'm not going to run from that. So I'm not going to like try to corporatize people who like I feel like you're just stifling some of that energy. Like I want them to be who they are.
Were you talking about with their vehicle specifically?
Well, I was getting into appearance and how we dress and what that looks
Just
like.
appearance
and
in general. Yeah.
Appearance in general.
Sure.
So what I'm getting at is like going into a car, you know, listen, I mean, you know, for the majority of my career, we drove jacked up Super Duties on 42-inch Super Swampers that I worked out of the back of when the tailgate is at my chin. You pull into the lot and I'm like, that was our work vehicles. And we had a big sticker on the back window. Now, did that look professional? I mean, I don't want to say it looked like, you know, a cleaning service coming, but it wasn't, we didn't show up with mud all over the truck, right? The trucks were clean.
Yeah, I would say it was professional.
So it's like, what does professional mean? Does professional mean you drive a white Ford Ranger with letters on the side? Or does professional mean your car looks presentable and clean and like you give a crap when you woke up this morning?
That's what I think. I think your appearance of your vehicle needs to be consistent with your brand and what you're giving the customer.
Sure.
All right, do you care what your vehicle looks like? Because if you don't, you probably don't care about their vehicles.
That's the perception.
Yes.
Right. You don't want to buy food from a dirty kitchen.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah. That's good.
We got some new tools here on from the Dent Slayer too.
Yes.
Yes.
These look cool.
Did you want to look at these?
Yes, I do.
Let's anything else y'all want to discuss in that subject? I feel like we gave some really good value.
Man, I think it's one of the most valuable podcasts that we've had as far as some of that kind of practical content.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of
Practical how to, what to do.
Yes.
Put it to use today.
yeah.
It's a little PDR College flavor in here today.
It
It is. Smells like that in here. We try to dress it up whenever you come.
So these are a new version of the auto return slide hammer. Right now we're calling it the Arc, which is auto return compact. It's a
Okay.
little more compact, as you can see with some of the other models, but they're more economical too.
Okay.
So they're not carbon fiber, so they're not as expensive to make and to manufacture and to sell. So these are like a textured powder coated body. That one you have has a non-interchangeable tip.
Oh, it's just a fix?
It's just a fixed tip
Okay.
with cold glue on it. The black one is the brother to that one, so it's the same throw. It's the same stroke. It's the same everything. It just has the interchangeable tip.
Okay.
And yeah, so if you line it up with that one, they're identical other than just rip it off. It's identical other than the tip
Got it.
end. And then this one is bigger. And this one's actually as heavy as my biggest AR-10.
Yeah, that's got some weight to
It's
it.
got some weight to it. And the nose here with the threaded piece is shorter than the ARs. Actually, I got one for comparison. So this is the AR-9. You can see it's as big as the AR-9, but it's a little shorter here, and it's heavier than this because of the steel versus the carbon.
Got it.
So we have one more that I don't have. We were waiting on parts, and the whole snow thing happened. So there's another longer version of these that will be orange powder coated that is comparable to the length of the AR-10, which is the long one. And so they have the machined cap with the protects the cold glue.
Do you know what? Like the auto return is amazing, but protecting the glue is actually the biggest functional component of these slide hammers for cold glue. I'm so surprised that nobody pays any attention to that part. And it's a testament to me that most tools are not made by technicians. They're made by tool companies. And you know, I love them all. They're great people. But you learn things about working with a tool every day that someone at a desk doesn't understand. And when the freaking cold glue is stuck on everything in your box or full of dirt or dust or whatever, it doesn't work. And when it's in its little happy environment in between uses, you save like 5 minutes each time you get it out. It's such a big deal, the cover. And it's like, you might think the cover has nothing to do with the slide hammer because the auto return is such a cool feature, but the freaking cover changes everything. It's everything. I'm working on a slide hammer for Black Plague too, based around protecting the cold glue. Like it just has to happen for it to work well.
It's an integral part of it
Yeah.
as the function of the tool, right? Because it's not like hot glue where you're changing it out every time. This stays on the thing, and it's either going to be dirty from maybe you lay it on the ground beside you and it gets some dirt in it.
Even if you hang it on your cart and it's hanging out, it's getting dust on it.
Sure, it's getting dust. It's getting contaminants. If you're in a body shop, it's definitely getting dust.
Hose in a
like
body
that's
shop.
just.
Yeah.
And then whatever you're doing now, you're going to mash that into the paint of the car.
Right.
So whatever that was is
Yeah, you literally can't clean it. You have to like bake it
it's
into
replace it, right? So or just from a practical standpoint, I mean, this is laying on your cart and it touches that tip. When you pick it up, that tab, it's coming with you. Like whatever's stuck to that cold glue, I mean, whatever that cold glue touches is stuck. It's coming with it.
Yeah, it's oobleck.
And so it's just loss of proficiency. And so, keeping this, I mean, you can put this in your back pocket. You can throw this in a drawer. You can throw it in your pack out, and it keeps it all contained. And
If you want to get a good deal on one of these on Sunday, go to the airport right at the TSA checkpoint.
Yes.
Because there will be 10 dudes who try to take one of these home in a backpack or their pocket. And they're like, what do you mean I can't take? Like, what's wrong with this? And they're like, I don't know. It looks like a weapon. We're keeping it, or you can bring it back to your car.
yeah.
Every time happens.
Yeah, I encourage guys, do not try to fly with it. Maybe you can. I have not flown
There's
with one
nothing
yet.
wrong with it. But those agents get dumb.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't understand what it is, it's a weapon.
Yeah, especially the carbon fiber one here. Like that. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's definitely suspicious. Like,
Yeah,
what is that to the untrained person?
And it does kind of seem like a
Some kind of weapon.
baton
Yeah.
called an
that
AR.
extends. Yeah. What
They Google image this thing, it comes back as an AR.
what
Oh, great.
what cold glue are y'all using right now?
These are all different, I noticed, too.
Yeah, and so this is my VIP that I swear by.
That's Play-Doh.
This is an old Sergio's. It's really old.
That thing is on there good.
Yeah, and that's a VIP. These don't have any because they're new, but I like the VIP for my general use every day.
Yeah.
It's on all my slide hammers out there. It just hooks up when I need it. You rather play with them on that aluminum Ford, and it was ripping hard.
I have some from Peter. I haven't put a lot of time into it yet, but all his stuff is good, so I can't comment on how much I like it. There's one from Vlad Meyer, Mac Meyer.
It's more this color, like a honey.
Yeah, it's a little.
clear?
It's green, but it's a little more
What's green?
translucent. He might have two versions.
Okay.
But I find that it is one of the stickiest and is the least finicky about temperature and surface condition, and you can clean it with alcohol. Some of the Sergio early ones are so hard to clean for me. I've never really gotten to a sweet spot with Sergio's glue. I know they work, but it's like for me, I could never get them to work. And if it's not fast, I don't like it. So now I'm using Mac Meyer and the Diablo Glexo.
Where do you get the Mac Meyer?
We usually sell it on Black Plague. We might be out of stock right now, but he has a website too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just look up Mac Meyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's from Germany. He won the Dent Olympics a handful of years ago, and he makes the prism tabs. Those golden ones.
They all leave residue. I mean, in my findings, like I don't think one shines above the other in residue. Maybe other people would say that
That
there is.
blue Sergio one,
Yeah.
I've almost ruined a couple of cars because
The first iteration of the blue is very residue-y,
it's so sticky.
grainy.
But then if you hit it with a little heat, it just melts so
Yeah.
fast. And I guess kerosene is what he uses, which will clean it right off. But I don't even know where to get kerosene. Like, do I need a time machine first? Where do I get kerosene? Like,
Usually you can get it at some gas stations.
why have I ever needed to buy it?
Yeah, but you'd have to buy.
Man,
by the
I'm
gallon.
out of kerosene. You got any kerosene? Like, I'm trying to light all these lamps, dude.
All my kerosene lamps are out of kerosene.
If you, generally speaking, if you briefly hit that panel with some heat, just where it's warm to the touch, and if this like today here in Florida, it was cold out, and if it's cold to the touch, it's probably not going to hook up.
So this one, if it feels like this,
oh yeah, that's
what are you doing?
I'm just replacing it. I just
You're
stuck
not
it
even
on
gonna
here.
use it?
No, that's unusable stuff for me.
I would melt it with the torch. And
I
then
would
it
just
comes
put
back to life.
I would just put VIP on it and be done. I mean, this is old too. It's been sitting in my shop on it, like it's probably full of dust, but even when I heat it, like I don't heat this, I'll try to heat the tab.
I do the same thing, yeah.
because it just transfers.
Because if you hit it with the flame, it overheats it too fast. It turns into jelly.
Yeah, and I'll heat the tab and I'll heat the panel, and all the glues usually hook up pretty decently, and they're all going to leave some residue. But that VIP, I mean, it's all climate specific, I think, and damage specific. So for me, what we do, I just keep that blue VIP, and it just
works.
I have all the other ones. I bought them all, but the VIP is just, if it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to get more at MTE this year.
I have the carbon fiber version of your slide hammer, and it had a negative unintended consequence that because it works so good, you just keep going. And I keep hurting my shoulder with it because normally with another slide hammer, you have to pull it and then like reset it and then place it. But this one is ready to go every time. So I'm pulling like 3 times more and I'm like keeping going and my arm's fully extended. And now the glues are working good. So I'm like put in this weird position in my shoulder and I just keep going and working and working. And my shoulder is like, hey man, that's a bad position to be in. You should have moved your body.
Do you pull like that with your hand the other way?
This way, yeah.
Wow. You and Matt are kindred spirits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my pet peeve is not to pull with your shoulder, because your shoulder's not made to that explosive movement. And it's I wanted to ask you about this. I'm glad we said this because it goes into your tab technology.
Yeah.
So if I'm pulling like this and I'm pulling with a weaker muscle, usually you have to get in there to kind of heave it. That's what we do. We kind of get our shoulder close to it.
Right, because you're so weak like this.
Yeah, you're not strong to do that. And so you kind of get close to it and you kind of pull this thing up that. But if you notice, you start pulling this arc.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You're not pulling a straight linear path. Whereas I pull with my tricep, so I'll stick it and I'll just pop my tricep. I just do a tricep extension. So your tricep is what, 3/5 of your arm?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a pretty strong muscle compared to your shoulder. It's more of an explosive muscle. So you're able to generate speed a little bit faster than you can with your shoulder. And you can get a little bit further away from the panel. You don't have to be up on it like you do when you're trying to do this.
Yeah. And naturally you put your head down
closer
near the panel, right?
Yes. And so I think ergonomically, it's better to pull with your tricep than with your shoulder. And I think we have data across years and years of guys using it that would show that guys have, some of the older school guys who have been doing this all have shoulder injuries because they've been doing this explosive movement with their shoulder. And it's not, to me, in my opinion, it's not right.
Yeah.
Like do it with your tricep, flip it over, use your arm, pop it, and then it's as far as the direction of the pull is much linear. Like I pull like this, and it's much straighter of a path.
Yeah.
So tying this to your tab, which is what I really want to get to, is you design these tabs. Can you tell us why? And I want to tie it to the whole arc of pulling versus straight pulling.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. To go for the whole story, like, you know, we didn't bring any normal tabs in here, but we had normal tabs, and my thought process was, you know, why are these heads this shape? And I couldn't come up with a good reason, except that that's what the first Worth tabs were. They were just that shape. So the next person who made a lifter who wasn't Worth obviously wanted their lifter to pull the Worth tab, so they made them the same size. And then everybody just iterated off that same size, because if you made a tab, you wanted the lifters to be able to pull it. And if you made a lifter, you wanted it to pull all the tabs on the market. So it just stayed stuck at that size. And it works. There's nothing really wrong with it. But I thought, is this way because it's the best possible way? Because we've tried 100 other ones? No, they just picked a size and it works, and we've been going with it. So I thought, could I make the tab work better if I said that design didn't need to be true? I could start over. And nobody wanted to start over because you have to make a big investment and convince guys that they should have a new lifter. And it's not an easy thing to do if we're all in love with our tools. So I started experimenting with it, and I thought, you know what? I think I can make it better. So, okay, well, what am I trying to make better? What's wrong with it? And really what I figured out is that as in the last like 3 or 4 years, the most popular tabs that have come out are the skinny necked, thin faced tabs, right? They just pull better. We all know it. You know, the Dent Reaper tabs and all of the similar variants, they're fantastic. What's so great about them? Well, the necks are super tiny and the faces are thin. Sometimes they're a little more thick, but the pull is centered in the center of the tab as much as possible. You know, the original like little Hale tabs where the neck was just the same size as a big giant 30 millimeter tab, they pull fine, but they don't pull the same as a thin neck tab. So that's really the only difference, is you're concentrating the pull in the center of the dent. And when you think about a dent going in, just like big dent theory is the same as little dent theory, the impact point is only right there, right? But it sucks in the area all around it. So in theory, you don't need, if the dent is this big, you don't need a tab this big. You need something in the same point that it contacted it to reverse the damage, because all of the surrounding dive is a symptom of the impact in the center. So, whether you know that or not, you've kind of figured that out over the last couple of years of glue pulling. I don't want a big tab. I want the smallest tab that works to pull up the center. So I go, okay, these tabs are working, but what's one of the main complaints is that they break, right? Tabs are breaking. Now, they work good, but they break off. And then to your point about the slide hammers, I'm watching how they work, and I'm watching other guys in my shop work and watching myself, like trying to pay attention without changing what I'm doing. And my theory is that these little tabs that are breaking, the tabs aren't breaking. The technicians are breaking the tabs. And what I mean, not to say that they can't break. Sure, they can. But what I mean by that is with the slide hammer specifically, when a tab, they hit it once and it hooks up, generally you're going to pull it harder the second time. And if the dent is stubborn, you're going to keep pulling harder. But as you keep pulling harder, you're introducing more and more English into this thing. And then they end up pulling it like sometimes 20 degrees off. And that's when the tab either, if the adhesion's good, it just breaks. And if the adhesion's not good, it just shears it off and it pops off and doesn't do anything. And some guys go straight to that and they pull it off. Because they're looking down at the dent, the slide hammer is happening out here, out of their realm of reality. And my contest to everyone is, if you're working around someone else with a slide hammer, watch the back of their slide hammer. Don't watch the dent. Watch the back of the slide hammer. And you'll see there's like a 15-degree variant on how we pull it. No matter how much you're trying to concentrate on pulling it perfectly straight, to your point, none of our joints move linear. They're all on a radius. Even to try and emulate a perfectly linear pull, you have to manipulate your shoulder, your wrist, your elbow to make this straight line. We're not really capable of doing it. It's going to go like this. Mm-hmm. So I go, okay, it's going to go off on an angle. So how can I reduce that tendency to pull at an angle and make some engineering to have it accept the invariable fact that we are never going to pull it perfectly straight. So by making them taller, I kind of think about a really tall tree. A super tall tree sways a ton at the top, but it doesn't really affect the bottom of the tree at all. But if you have a tree stump and you sway the top of it an inch or two, you're unrooting the stump, right? But that same pressure applied at the top, it doesn't affect the tree at all at the base because it has the whole material of the trunk to accept that sway. So I thought if we make this thing longer, we can accept a little bit of movement at the top here and have it be basically inconsequential at the bottom. So that's step number one. I need more material. It also has a little more elasticity because that, like a really super rigid tab doesn't pull that great. You guys know that too. If it's too rigid, like why don't metal tabs work? They're too rigid. They just pop right off. It needs to flex a little bit with the sheet metal. So if I have more material, we'll have a little more stretch in there and kind of give us that elasticity to let it move in a more organic way. And then the last is this wedge design. So I brought a couple of the new sets to show you guys. They have the adapters inside. You can check that one out. I don't know. I don't think I gave you guys any adapters before. So these little guys, that's the closed back one.
How about this box, man?
I know.
I'm leveling up the Black Plague.
Dude, look at all the little ghost rats in there.
Isn't that cool?
The box is, I mean, the presentation here is really good.
Oh, so this is how everything comes, huh?
Yeah, this is the whole
Wow.
set. Or the like starter set, I guess I could call it. But inside the puller,
So nice, man.
we have, of course, the traditional opening that'll still pull everything in your shop, so you're not sacrificing anything. But now we have this wedge at the top of it. So when you pull straight up on this puller is going to self-center in that wedge. When you're using a slide hammer, you can feel when you're getting a straight pull. When you're pulling it a little wonky, it will feel wonky. And you can adjust your hand over until when you bump it, you'll feel this solid hookup. And then at that point, you know, okay, this is as much perpendicular as I can get, and then you can give it a good pull. But where I see more of an advantage is actually with the lifter. So this is made to thread directly into a robo lifter. These are the same threads at the top. We include the screws if you wanted to put one in your slide hammer, but this really you would unthread it and put it into your robo. And then you'd install the robo legs to give your feet that adjustability.
So the kit comes with two.
Yeah.
One for your lifter, one for your slide hammer.
Right. A pass-through and a closed one. Yeah, I want people to convert, and I made it, obviously it's retroactive, so you're not sacrificing anything. It's still, still the same universal opening for every other tab. So you'll still pull everything. This just goes up above it. But by putting the lifter directly over that tab, I should have brought a lifter in, But what I kind of do is I'll have the feet above the dent, right? And I'll put it on the tab. Now the lifter is centered to the tab first, and then I'll lower the feet. And they're just going to drop wherever they naturally would be to be centered on the tab, as opposed to, you know, you have this opening like a normal tab, you just slide in and start pulling, but you could be pulling it slightly off to one side, and you're over and over and over again, and you're just not getting anything out of that pull. It's most likely because it's not pulling it straight, it's shearing it off, shearing it off, shearing it off. But once you use these little tools to get it centered, these things pull stupid hard on a slide hammer. Like, it sounds like I'm kind of like overplaying it, but you will crack the paint on an aluminum hood if you overpull it with this, because it pulls so hard in one spot. You'll freaking, that signature, if you've ever cracked paint from glue pulling, it will happen more than you wish it would if you just go bam and get a piece of it. So like, it works really well.
We were using these on a hail car here.
So you'll notice there's a different color to these.
Yeah.
These emerald ones are pre-production prototypes that I brought to you last year. These faces were a little too thin. They just don't hold up. So we made them just a little bit thicker in this production version, because these worked well, but the lifespan was too short. So these are a little thicker. So
what is your reasoning for the thickness or thinness of the faces?
Oh yeah, so I didn't show the two different versions. So inside, I'm actually kind of proud of the little organizer that comes with them too. This little guy, you can take them out and put them in real easy. And you can just take this with you to a car. Like if you're gonna go do a rail, you can just put that thing right up there.
Did you make that too?
Yeah, I made that.
That's cool.
It'll fit your regular tabs too. And we're gonna have these little organizers. Just actually, I think they got stuck in customs. We were supposed to have them by themselves at the show, but so there's 4 sizes in here and 2 different face thicknesses. But like you pointed out, Matt, the green one is the super thin face, and the yellow one is a thicker face. I personally, so all of this comes from the idea, like, we've learned how to glue pull like crazy. Everybody, if you're working at a high level now, you're very good at glue pulling. In the early days, it was like, what pulls the hardest? That's what I want, right? The hardest. Well, now we all know how to get the hardest pull. And it's rarely what you want. Because what does it mean? It means a huge high spot with a ton of extra work to tap it back down for no reason. So what we want is to pull it perfectly flat, which isn't realistic. It's maybe like 2 or 5% high, like do flat. That's a kind of a perfect repair. So why do I want to just pull this thing to the moon? There's no reason anymore. So now that I have that power, I don't need to use it all the time. So I thought, I need the system that will give me just what I need and not more than that. Mm-hmm. So the thin face tab is super flexible. I mean, when you pick it up, it doesn't feel flexible, but when it's at work, it's flexible enough that it's doing its job. And it's never going to like blow your mind and like rip the freaking panel to the ceiling. That's not its job. Its job is to get just that center pit up. That's it. So I'm a fan of starting with the minimum tab, like the least aggressive tab possible, to just get the dent flat and not to rip it to the moon. Sometimes you need more power, and sometimes the dent's just more stubborn, and you just need to get after it. Then I start stepping up to the thicker face because it just pulls harder. It flexes less, so it pulls harder before it actually lets go. And again, I'm going to size down into the dent smaller. I want the tab inside the dent, not covering the whole thing. So I'm going to go down a size on these compared to what I would normally use on a dent, and I'm going to start with the thin face tabs and see if I'm getting what I want. And if I'm not, I'll go up and pull harder. But I don't want to pull hard first and then waste time knocking down. So I made this 2-step system so that you can just save more time and not have to knock down a million high spots. That's the worst way through a hail rail, right? Pull it every one high. Maybe the first one when you figure out how it's hooking up.
So, tying this with cold glue, what I love about cold glue, or this phenomenon of cold glue that has taken PDR in the past couple of years.
These are both gifts for you guys, by the way.
What?
Oh, thank you.
Bruh.
It comes with swag too. You got a rat to stick somewhere, and you got to make metal flat again
Dude,
sticker.
He put an
I'm just
H
telling
in
you,
the word swag.
this rat
He
is
says
so
swag.
This rat logo is so sick. I need to get a shirt
I got one for you.
that with the rat on it.
Yep.
'Cause
I got
that's
an extra one.
totally my. So what I love about cold glue. How long do we have? What are we?
Where are we at, Marcio? 2.5?
So what? Let's just geek out for a second here.
Oh no.
Because so when a panel has shape or contour, there's stored energy in that panel.
Yeah.
And so what happens is there's a round panel that has stored energy in it that wants to be round, and something hits it and it makes it not that shape anymore. But that energy's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And all we're trying to do is this. We're trying to correct the damage, but we want to utilize that energy in there to help us do that, right? And so that's why we have these tools now that work so good at that, which is lateral tension, just releasing some of that and allowing some stored energy to happen. And I think cold glue is this missing link between accessing that stored energy and complementing it without forcing it, right? Because there's a factor of X that this stored energy is trying to give us, but it's been damaged. And so we go in and we're trying to correct this damage. And I believe when we do that, we want to start at the least risky way possible. So sometimes we can do that with blending. I think blending accesses that stored energy. I think when we blend, we're not just turning a puddle into a pond. We're releasing the stored energy in the panel that is there, and we're assisting it to come out. So I believe there's a very technical thing that's happening with blending. And I believe, so if we go down like the scale of risk, right? Blending is probably if we can blend a dent, done, right? But that only will do so much for the severity of the damage. So we want to start with blending if possible. And then the next scale would be cold glue, because what I love about cold glue is it's I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's hard to overpull. Right. You can overpull. I mean, depending on what you're doing. If you're just a knucklehead and you're using this crazy tab and
Tahoe quarter panels.
Oh man, those things are paper.
But also, those are flat panels without tons of stored energy or shape.
I love those things for cold glue.
So, but what I love about cold glue is that it'll access the stored energy, but it breaks away at a certain point before you overpull.
Yeah.
Right. So then, if we're talking about these tabs and kind of how they're designed, it's kind of the same thing. When you were describing it to me, I was imagining this being the next step up from cold glue.
Yeah.
And then this being the next as far as severity of attack that I have to go through.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Because this will only do so much before it. If we were to, I think of it like a chain. Like if we engineer a breaking point in the chain so that we can't overpull it. Like you structurally build something, a joint that breaks,
right,
so that something else doesn't break. So if we are trying to repair a rail, I want to go to it with blending first because there's nothing that can essentially break. The next thing I want to do is go to cold glue because that's the less risky. I'm not going to overpull it. I'm probably not going to pull paint. This is just really bad.
Right.
Like, so, and then I have to say, okay, this is too severe. I have to continue down the chain of the tools that I have and what do I have, the heavy lifting. So I think this, from how you describe it, is this kind of even intermediate tab between a thicker tab and cold glue. Would that?
Yeah. But I mean, it's probably a little more aggressive than that. Like you can still get a hold of something with these things.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just breaking off with a little baby pull. They're, every panel's different. Every panel's different. But if you put those on some of the lighter gauge metal, it'll still rip a real nasty high spot that you got to spend some time putting back to life. But yes, I mean, it's the flexible, thin. And the other thing is like the way people pull. Just ripping it off is not always the best plan, in my opinion, right? Like, look at what you're getting out of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
some
need
guys
to
are just-
read at what it's doing.
And that's kind of hard to teach. You almost have to go through it and just figure it out. But there's plenty of times with these where a couple pulls and I'm like, oof, that's more than I wanted. And now I got to get it off. And sometimes they're not easy to get off because they're a little bit flexible. They want to stay stuck on there. But yeah, definitely go thin. You might even like go down there a little smaller before you go to that one. If you're looking at a bridge between cold glue and hot glue, because this one is still pretty strong with that size on it. It's really hard to see, but there's a little circle in the top corner in the top that has their size. You almost need freaking magnifying glass to see it. But it has the size of the tab. The biggest ones.
Oh, like the millimeters.
Yeah, these biggest ones are 15. You need better eyes than mine to see it, but it's on there if you're trying to figure out which one your buddy has and you're trying to get the same one.
But it's something to say, though, about like if you're a technician and how you're trying to approach a repair. Like, and this circles back to the whole training thing. It's like the old school way is just get it up.
Yeah.
Just put a freaking tab on there and just rip it up. And it's like, well, you don't need to do all that. Like, history has shown that that's probably not the most proficient way to do it.
Right.
And if we can get it up enough, you want to baby it and you want to get it up enough without over pulling it. And like there are tools that we have that are designed to do that with restraint instead of just boom, 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 ripping things and possibly ripping paint.
Yeah.
And then having to overwork it with a knockdown to get it laid back down. And then you see all these footprints of where you were, you know. And so it's approaching the vehicle smart now. And we have tools that you can use that aid in your cleanness of repair or your repair process in general, as opposed to just this caveman knuckle dragger approach to just put the biggest, heaviest metal tab on there or something that's unbreakable and just rip it up.
Smash it to them.
Like that's not how PDR has shown to be the favorable option.
No, it's certainly not how all the guys who you might look up to, how they finish stuff. That's not how they're doing it.
Yeah.
This is an unnecessary trauma. It's just extra work. You're just making more damage that you have to undo. If you're all gonna end up at the same place or perfectly flat, why would you create more work for yourself? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried these yet. I'm super excited to, but Matt was being stingy with what you gave us before. Same with the tips, but man, we as an industry, we got to appreciate guys like y'all who are doing stuff like this, right? Like, I mean, you're putting a lot of time and effort and money and risk in trying to make glue pulling a little bit better.
Yeah, that's a big investment.
Yeah. And so, man, support guys like this that are doing this kind of work for guys like us. Don't buy the copies. Man, I'm just pumped and I'm excited. I love to see how, you know, everything is just getting better and better, but it takes so much risk. And as soon as everyone figures out, holy crap, these things are great, there's going to be people ripping them off that didn't have any of that risk and any of that effort.
I hope not, but history shows us
You
that
hope
you're
not.
right. Yeah. I do have a patent pending on them, so hopefully that comes back soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but let's talk about the tips because you got them out here. First of all, some of you guys who follow Matt closely will know, like, you didn't invent micro tips, bro. This is a copy of Matt's tip, the Dent Slayer tip. So Matt will attest to the fact that I called him and I'm like, hey, man, I accidentally knocked you off.
Listen, I don't count it as a knockoff. It's a tip at the end of the day. So like, there's nothing super innovative, meaning like that I'm trying to claim on it. I just wanted a short tip.
Yeah.
And you made an assortment here with a nice little holder that. And again, I'm not going to get rich off of that.
Sure. But you know what? It's a testament to what we were talking about earlier is like, if you're using these tools every day, it's just a natural thing. You're like, man, I need that tip, but these are too big. I need a smaller one. How small can I make it? well, shoot, why don't I just whittle down the set screw itself and not add a tip on top of it? It's a kind of a natural progression. In fact, in the patent world, you probably would not be able to patent these because I forget the exact term they use, but it's like a obvious improvement that everyone would see and go, well, yeah, you can make it smaller. You can't patent that. It's too obvious. And to you and I, it's just kind of obvious. I guess the novel thing for me is that I just decided to make every single shape I could think of, from almost perfectly flat, but it's a dome, which is this little guy right here, to these little crease tips. One's round and one's a flat little shovel. This one here fits the ultra black caps. But as I've been telling people about these, the most impressive one to me has actually been this super duper sharp one. I can't believe how clean you can push with this. It's unreal, because I'm not really a super sharp tool guy. But when I started fooling with this one, I kind of just made it because I could. And so I was curious mostly to try that one.
Make it sharper.
Yeah, I'm like, how
Make
sharp
it
can
sharper.
you make it? Even sharper. And it's nasty. Like, it'll go through your skin. But holy smokes, it's clean. It's the cleanest thing I can push with, as long as like you're to the point where the dent, like to your point, Matt, if the tension's out of it and you're just cleaning it, you're like pushing in between orange peel.
Yeah.
And there's something that happens between, like, this is what we would normally call sharp, right?
It's sharp.
That is sharp.
Yeah.
That's sharp. Mm-hmm. But when you push with this, it makes a little BB bump in the paint. Like, it makes that shape come up, which is not that small in the grand scheme of really perfect dent repair. You know, we're like analyzing peel. That's a pretty big overpush if you overpush with it. But if you overpush with that, it almost doesn't exist. It's so tiny that you can do this perfectly clean work. You're amazed that all of a sudden you have the ability to go in between orange peels, when this thing is like, it's kind of mashing it by the time you see it. It's an interesting comparison that I didn't anticipate happening.
Which tip would you say would be closest to the Dentcraft B1, which is their sharpest one? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a bullet
I
number
don't
one.
know theirs by heart, but it's probably the one I'm holding,
Yeah.
Or this guy. Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
So
know.
you have
which we call
1,
blunts for
2,
bees.
3, 4, 5, at least six sharper than the Dentcraft B1, which is my current sharpest tip that I have.
And some of these are also, they come to a finite point. They just have a cone to support the sheet metal on the way up. They're also very sharp. And obviously, you know, the fact that, do you have any interchangeable tip tools on that wall?
Yeah.
Glad you asked. That one right there.
This is the one.
In fact, when we were at Bryce's, this is the same tool he grabbed, because this tool is dope. But, you know, we should have brought a regular tip in, like a normal giant tip. Do you have one in here?
I can use this one.
The micro tips are really about making this tool just way more useful. So these are awesome tips. And in a lot of situations, you don't have any space constraint, right? You can just go, is that going? They're just brand new threads.
Yeah.
When you have no space constraints, it really doesn't matter, you know, what's going on in there. It's a big open panel. But as soon as you want to shove this thing into some opening, right? Imagine like the opening is as high as those tabs. This tip is no longer it. It just doesn't fit. You'd have to switch tools.
Or side load it, which
is not the push you want.
And it's not how that tip was designed. Either.
Right. And this is a completely different movement than this, right? And your different muscle group, it's completely different. If you're like push, 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 you're stuck now. It's time to either side push it, which is what all of us will do because it's too hard to take it out and switch tips. But with these freaking micro tips, they're basically just like the shape of the tool now, because they can bury themselves so far down there. I mean, think of the places you can now use this tool. It fits almost everywhere, right? You can get it into like such a tiny little spot.
that will go zero. That'll go below zero.
Yeah, it'll go
because that thread goes all the way through.
Right, so you could drop it down to nothing.
Yeah,
and still get that push you want. And now we have the ability to put whatever little English you want on it. A little bit of round, a little bit of, I like a little piece of leather, so I can drop this all the way down and use a leather push and still only be, a 1/4 inch or less above the profile of the tool. What Shane pointed out that I didn't even think about is when you get a longer tip with a bunch of extensions, it's kind of squirrely and the tool is not that stable. He pointed out that the closer we can bring the pushing point to the shaft of the tool, the more stable it's going to be. You can bring your leverage point up higher, right? So you're not coming at it again at this big radius. You're coming really just barely up into the tool, which is a more direct push and more controllable. And I thought, I didn't even really think about that. My mindset was around access with the micro tips, specifically like going down doors and wanting to use different profiles.
So the reason I designed that tool, because this is a version of that tool. This is the Kingslayer, and that's the Kingslayer severed. So is along that same thought process, because the taller this tool gets from the center line, the more I have to actively manage this tool, and the more risk I'm. So what happens is we start applying more torque,
right?
And as the torque goes up, the risk goes up exponentially.
Ask me how I know.
So there's this dangerous combination that happens between the torque and the risk, and we've all been there where you're just in this thing, and this thing slips, and it can be catastrophic. And so I wanted this tool to be able to be a zero, to where I don't want to be married to this.
There's
all the
nothing
time.
to slip. Yeah.
There's nothing to slip. And the lower you can get that profile, the less you can manage it. So when I'm working with this tool, if I have my geometry set up right with my leverage point, I can just be lazy back here, not death gripping this thing. I can just be because
I'm not trying to walk one way or the other.
I don't have to manage this flopping phenomenon. I can just leverage back and forth because my center line has just gotten all the way down to as low as possible to get a result. Right. So these tips are great. I mean, I have mine because of that, and I created it for that. And this is just 100% the same direction.
Yeah, just expanding on that same idea.
Which is amazing to see. The reason I did my tip was I was working on a 90s BMW. And there was no access from the hood, so you had to come up. And
what panel?
A fender, sorry. And I was going up from the liner up into the top, and where that fender rolls over, and like the not the core support, but like structure, it was on top of the fender.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get up in there, and I was using a flat bar that had some curve, but all I had was like a tall tip like this, and it would not get up in there. And I'm literally like, man, nothing's fitting. So I ran over to my machinist next door, and I had a piece of all thread.
He's got a machinist next door.
And I just said,
good resource.
I said, can we just round this over? I just got to fix this dent, And so we rounded it over, and I stuck an R4 on there, and I fixed the dent with it. And I'm like, okay, there's an application here for a zero, because our industry has only made tips this big. Like this is the height we make them.
And why?
Because that's how we do it.
Right. It's like,
because that's how we're made.
Like, I'm not going to say that there's no thought. Maybe there was, but it's maybe there's something in the manufacturing or the material, or maybe there was some thought when. Let's just say, I mean, maybe I'm right or wrong, but Dentcraft kind of set the par for the course.
I think so. There's
for tips. And listen, I will say this: I'm going to Dentcraft booth this year, and I'm probably going to spend $300 on tips or more. Because
they are the table stakes. Like if you don't have their whole set, all the red dipped ones and everything, like
I always
you're
go
missing
through.
out.
So my most used tips I have are just all the Dentcraft stuff, because they're general purpose tips.
Yes.
So I'm not hating on Dentcraft, but I'm saying they kind of said
gold standard.
They determined tips need to be this high, and that's what they are. And so now
usually they're fine.
usually they're fine.
Yeah, in a fender when it's like wide open,
Yeah.
knock yourself out.
And you can grab it and take it out.
It
like
is
it's
a little
enough.
easier to grab. Some of these are not like getting a hold of this is not that easy.
Yeah. So there's a few things that determine the height of a tip, but then we've had to work with that as technicians. It's like, okay, now we have to fix dents with these fixed things that don't change, and we can't adjust that height. And so, like, the fact that this is where the industry is going with concepts like this, I mean, are exactly what I think where we should be as an industry.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if we're just stuck in like, this is what we've been doing for 20 years and this is what tip height should be, and so we always make them all like that, and tabs all look like work tabs, and so we just always make them look like that, then like we're not innovating. We're not asking the questions we should be asking of why is it a glue tab that way? Or
Yeah, why does it have to be that?
why is the tab or the tip that tall? Like we should be asking those questions. And listen, the industry will tell us if they are the right answers or not.
Right. Yeah, they'll let us know.
They'll let us know. Like, I think the industry. I think you're right on with your tips, because I think the industry. I think it makes sense, and the industry will recognize that too. And I think your tabs make sense. And like, this episode is brought to you by PDR Expo, the premier event dedicated entirely to the paintless dent repair industry, happening September 25th and 26th, 2026, at the Rio in Las Vegas. This is where techs, tool companies, and the industry leaders come together for 2 full days of education, networking, live competition, and hands-on access to the latest tools and innovations. Whether you are a seasoned pro or just getting started, PDR Expo is built to help you sharpen your skills and grow your business. Don't miss the Dent Trials, beginner competitions, and the chance to connect with the best in the trade. Learn more and grab your tickets at pdrexpo.com.
Still wrangling spreadsheets and scribbling estimates by hand? Say no more. Mobile Tech RX gives you everything in one slick app. Estimates, job tracking, QuickBooks integration, and more. It's built to help recon pros work smarter, ditch the admin grind, and get paid faster. Start your 5-day free trial at mobiletechrx.com. Black Plague PDR Tools. Black Plague Dent and Crease tabs are some of the most high-performing tabs on the planet. They are always part of our daily toolkit. They hook up and deliver superior results. Also, if you want to repair stretched oil can dents, check out the SB4 Shrinky Box. I have been using this thing for about a year now, and it is an essential part of my toolkit to help me fix stretched damage. It comes with everything you need in one box, and it's super easy to use. Get all things Black Plague PDR at deadrattabs.com.
When we set out to make the first simple, effective tube glue system, we knew we had to make an amazing hail glue. It sets quick, holds really strong, and lets go when you need it to. And let me just say, our hail glue absolutely rips through hail damage. Another goal for our hail glue, it had to deliver effective, reliable pulls for route techs out there making it happen in the streets during the cold months. Part of our tube glue system, whatever the weather, Thin Slayer has you covered. This glue was only made possible by our relationship with Anson. You can find the glue on their website, as well as some of the other leading tool companies' websites. There's intent behind it, not just because.
Right.
And I think anytime there's intent behind it, other than just because, I think you're on the right track, right? You're asking the right questions, and you're trying to come up with the right answers.
Yeah. I agree. Same with your slide hammer, right? What some people are like, what's the big deal? It auto retracts. Well, use it, right? Watch somebody using the standard kind, and you have this wasted energy and this wasted movement to reset it. Now that's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. The other thing I brought is these tabs. I don't know if you guys have played with these yet. Have you fooled with these?
I haven't. I've seen them. I think I saw them in Italy, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So I brought them because they've been out for a year, but I think some people are sleeping on them or they don't quite understand how they work. So I should have brought a piece in, but this is designed around the Kiko adapter. So that thing will slide over this. And this bar with the nylon inside, this is approximately the size of a normal glue tab. But when the Kiko adapter is over it, the bar is too big to come out of the aluminum, so it's in there. It will never come out. But this design gives you a ton of functionality on big structural glue pulls. The place I tend to use it the most is when a quarter is shoved in inside the door. It's pushed in more than the door. You can just load this thing up with glue and just fill it, and it'll contour right to that corner no matter what's going on with it because there's so much glue in there. And then in my shop, I've got a pulling post with a winch on it, and I'll just get a hold of this whole corner, and you can just move the whole corner out, that 1/4 inch that's shoved in. And now, as you know, doing big nets, the first thing you need to do is get the structure of the panel back. Then you can make the sheet metal flat, and you literally can't go in the other order because you'll never get it flat if the structure's stopping it from being such. So getting these edges pulled up with so much power and so much glue is like changes everything. Once that shape is back, the panel becomes easy to fix. So this is the primary purpose I use it, but it can also grab a body line that's kicked where you want to move that body line, but there's not one specific part of it that you want to move because the whole thing's just shoved. And if you overdo it with a tool, you have to go slow. Or if you use a tab, you're going to make lumps in it. It's just a big ass area to move back out. So we start thinking about I can move a big chunk of this dent at once now when it's on any kind of a contour line. Funny enough, if you watch my Instagram, there's a black GMC that the guy backed into a skid steer and ran his bumper into his bedside and just crinkled the bottom of it. And I've got all different kinds of pulls going on this thing because it was in and up and over. So I've got it's pulling down to the ground, it's pulling back, it's pulling 3 different ways. But if you know that bedside, it has that real hard body line that kind of surrounds the bumper, where the bumper gets cut in. Yeah. And it was gone. And I was trying to get it back, and I was struggling with it. And I was actually pinging Bryce. I'm like,
such a bad area.
I'm like, man, I'm struggling to get this body line out and to get the shape back. And he's like, I would use your yellow strap. And I'm ashamed to say it, but I've forgotten about this tab. So here's the guy giving me advice on my own tool. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And it's exactly what I did. Hooked it on that body line, hooked it to the winch, and got the structure back. And then it's just a matter of finishing the metal. But now once the shape is back, the whole thing goes. So I just want guys to start looking more this isn't just for body guys to glue pull big format and big structure. You, as a PDR tech who's leveling up and getting better at big dents, you're going to have to start tackling some of these crushed edges and depressed body lines. And this is a great way to get a hold of them.
I can tell you exactly where I would use this. So in my shop, and I'll show you when we leave, it's in my shop right now. I have a black Mazda, I think it's a CX-9, that the lady was getting out of her car and someone pulled into the space and just creamed the door edge. Pretty nasty. Like when Bryce hits it with the 4x4, right on the edge. Except it blew it out. Bryce usually folds it under.
Oh, yeah.
This blew it out. And she came to me, she's like, can you fix this? And I'm like, no. I can make it better. There's levels of better.
Right.
And I don't know what that is. I can't make this, not on this big black car door. I can't make that invisible. But I can, she's like, well, I hear air.
That I can fix.
I'm like, well, I can get that. Not a problem. But I don't think I can, I can make that, check that box, but you're still going to see some. But she's like, it doesn't matter. Just do that. And so we brought it in the shop, and Salo was kind of prepping everything. I'm sitting there staring at that door, and I'm like, how am I going to start this thing? What's the best way? And the traditional way would be get a 2x4 and a rubber mallet and just hammer it down. And I'm like, there's another way. There's another way. And so I think they're the Kim Auto straps because I didn't have this. They're the hard plastic ones, and they're 2 layers.
Oh, okay.
That kind of bolt together. They're like a tab it's like a tab strap that bolts together. Okay. It's 2. But anyhow, so we got those and glued it to the door edge
Both
that
sides.
was blown
Yeah.
out. Yeah. So like around the door edge like that.
Yeah, that's also how I use this.
And we
Wow.
pulled that thing with my pulling tower, and it just opened that up. And it's fixed. I'll show you. I mean, I would say it definitely it's going to blow her wheels off. I mean, she's going to be floored with it. Is it 100%? No, but she's 100% happy. We got it way beyond expectation.
Yeah.
It
It doesn't have to be museum perfect for you to be super proud of it.
Considering how bad it was, I'm 100% proud of it.
And the lessons you learn on dents like that, then you translate over to some that are a little less extreme and you start getting them perfect.
The problem though with those tabs was that they're a hard, rigid tab. So because that door edge it was like blown out like there was all kinds of shape to it, and so when you glue those tabs on there, they were all flared out at different angles, and so when I'm trying to pull it, it wants to pry the glue off.
Yeah, it's shearing it off.
It's shearing the angle. The angles weren't right because they're just not a flexible tab, and so I knew you had this and I didn't have it. And all I could think about was this tab, because this would have accommodated any of the distortion in the panel that was irregular.
Yeah.
And still given me the pull I needed to without trying to rip the adhesion of the glue off.
Yeah, it's crazy strong.
So I was wanting this tab.
I'm glad you got it
And
now.
so I'm glad thank you.
It was inspired in just this form by Arlson Gedges. Seeing him glue those giant plastic sheets for lateral tension, I'm like, oh, I don't have anything. I don't have any. I could buy a plastic sheet, but I don't have a Mow clamp. And I don't really want to get one, to be honest. So I'm like, I need a big format. So I kind of designed it this way. And then it was a secondary. I thought, oh, I can just add another strap. Now we can surround the edges of panels. But you can use it just on one side and get a full pull this way or on the inside or whatever. You can use all three edges of it, both sides. Right. They didn't make it out of my factory in time, but for this year, there's one that's twice as long. So it's for like monster areas that you want to just pull the snot out of something. And then we've got one that's twice as long that'll go deeper into a panel. Right. If you want, you need this. This is kind of a big apparatus on the outside, and maybe you just want to go in deeper and get closer to the damage. That'll give you a super big bite. And a couple of other, like the big giant, big freaking green straps that we have with the huge ones. They're kind of so big you can't use them that much, so we made like a half size one. All that stuff didn't make it to the show like I wanted to, but it'll be here in a month or two. But these large format nylon straps are, to me, the best way to apply tension because you have zero risk of collateral damage. Nothing bad ever happens from the strap. Like it's not going to put a high spot. It's not going to wrinkle it. It just doesn't. It follows the contour of the metal.
Can you give us a tech tip on how to get the glue, the best processes to get the glue off these?
So like Elon Musk, talking about his rockets, like the best parts are no parts. The best way to get the glue off is not to get the glue off. I just reheat it. I make it warm and then I put more glue on top of it. I don't feel like there's a great advantage to cleaning it. And I'm going to waste 10 minutes of goofing around. It's hard to get the glue off of them.
So this is what I want to know. I'm glad, because that's what I do, because I haven't found a good process. Like I've tried the whole peel technique when it's on the panel.
Okay, for the long straps, you peel them completely backwards.
Yeah.
And you can like whip them a little bit. And you can pull them right off the glue and then take the glue off the car. That's the best way. But my techs and I tend to find ourselves gravitating towards the shorter straps and not the longer ones because they're just easier to get a hold of. And at the end of the day, you rarely need more than this much glue, you know. But when they're a little longer, they're a little easier to rip backwards. The short ones, you can't like get that whip. You can't get a little momentum going. So those tend to stay stuck more. But if you can use a little bit longer strap and there's the real estate, it pays because it comes off so much easier. Just rip it backwards and it's like 2 seconds, it comes off.
What is your opinion about soaking them in alcohol?
I think it's fine, but you got to make sure it's all dried out before you use it again. So now this thing's out of commission for an indefinite amount of time because I don't know if the air is getting to the middle of the fabric.
Yeah. And do you think, I haven't done that because I've been scared to do that because I was like, man, then it's just going to soak into the tab. And so will it reactivate later when I glue, You know, like I don't know.
I think if you're going to use it tomorrow, I think you're probably fine. You know, alcohol evaporates pretty fast. We all know that. But that being said, I don't soak mine. I just, whatever glue's in there is going to be part of the glue for the next job. And I'll kind of like bury the glue gun into the old glue and start injecting the glue into the old glue to kind of make sure the two are biting together.
So I get a torch.
These are flammable. So you can burn them. You can catch them on fire.
The other ones I have burned too. But if you keep that torch moving,
yeah, you'd probably be fine. Just
you
tech
won't creme
tip,
brulee it.
they can catch on fire with a torch.
But yeah, I don't. If it stays there, it's going to flame up. But if you move it, you're just trying to get the heat. A heat gun would do the same thing too, without the flame, slower. But I just torch them and keep it moving, and I get that glue translucent again or clear again, and then as soon as it's clear, I'll either that's enough or I'll add more glue on top of that. But there is a potential for overheating the glue and burning the clear doing that too. So you got to just be super careful.
Yeah, I have never had that because I've never heated it that hot with a torch, but I can see that.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's that unknown that you're just kind of whiskey throttling and praying for the best.
Yeah, so my process is just to grab the regular glue gun to use, put enough in there that it kind of reactivates the surface level stuff, and usually it's fine. It'll end up, it'll end up instead of being like this, it's always hanging out like this because this has like a finger worth of glue that you're never bothering to get out of there. But I don't find it affects the performance at all. I'm very much of a messy 80-20 technician. I would be so much happier if I put my tools away like this, all in their spots. But at this point, I'm already so like out of patience. All right, let me just get the rest and put them right there, and we'll sort those out later, and I'm on to the next thing. I love seeing somebody's tools when they're all beautiful and they're all little spots. It makes me happy, but I don't have the energy to put them back. Yeah. So same with the straps. I'm not going to clean them all off. My tabs, I'm not going to clean them all off. I love when someone else does it, but I don't feel like I get enough benefit out of it.
Yeah, well, you can see my cart later, and it's just an absolute mess.
The other thing I did think about this after the fact, it's not designed like this on purpose, but you talked about soaking. These are all at the little same height, so you could put them in a little alcohol tin and soak every single one of them.
A Milwaukee container.
Yeah, just let them chill there, and then they should be nice and clean.
Are you Mormon?
Yeah.
You are? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. You're not really, are you?
No, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to make a Mormon joke.
That's okay.
You just talked a lot about soaking. This is big in the Mormon community.
I don't know that it is, but I know it is a term that I had to look up. Yeah,
y'all like my jokes tonight?
They're great, man. They're awesome.
I always like your jokes.
Thanks.
I keep telling you, they're getting better and better.
Well, dude, these are sick. Thank you for the gifts here.
Dude, it's my pleasure.
I see some hats too. Are these for us?
Yeah, these are for yours. I didn't know what size your craniums are.
Very big. His is.
There's larges and smalls. I said I was going to do a video the other day, and I shot it, and I didn't post it on your rat rods. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're getting enough airtime. Bring one of those down here. I think you need to make these little micro ones too.
We have one.
Like all the way down.
Oh, I have a hand tool one. It's like here.
But it's smaller diameters.
Smaller diameter. So it's for the I can show you. It's called the Mighty Mouse, and it goes on the new Anson handles, the new hubs, and it goes in like the holes where the weather strip are.
Yeah. Can't you just make a set that are fixed handles, like a whole set of these, little to big, and even a bigger one than this?
Yes.
I'm always telling Matt he needs to make things in sets.
Yeah, sets.
Make a set.
Because it's hard to buy PDR tools that you haven't held in your hands. Mm-hmm. Even when you know what you're after, you go online and if you're not really meticulous and read the whole listing and understand what diameter you're getting and how many you're getting or what it is, when you get it, it's not always what you thought it was. And that's usually, you're not going to buy a tool if you don't understand it. So I don't know how well these are selling. But
those are one of our best sellers.
they probably should be selling even better than they are because this is a super useful tool. But I know from talking to technicians over the years that a lot of guys don't understand this bend. They don't get it.
So
At every show, people are come up and they're like, "What is this?" And you show them a video and they're like, "Oh, okay." Almost every person
explain
does
it.
not understand.
Well, let me go back to making a bigger one. The reason I haven't made a bigger one is because, generally speaking, when it gets to a bigger 3/8, then we have the ability to put a tip with a soft, like a normal tip. We can go with one of these with an R4, and if it's a 3/8, we can get that in the hole. So if we're trying to get a soft push through a small hole, then it wouldn't make sense to have a 1/2 inch version of this because then we can probably have other tool options that would be better. Other than if I started stepping onto like stand liner territory. So I tried to not make a stand liner copy.
Yeah.
And I tried to stay true with like what it's supposed to do, a soft push through a small hole. I mean, I've been tempted to make a bigger one, but then I'm like, I'll probably get this and put another soft tip on it and get the result I'm looking for.
There's a beauty to getting through just that hole, though.
Yeah.
And then coming up and turning the corner so drastically in that tiny little hole. So if you still don't get it, the scenario is like you're doing a door and you got the lower rocker off and it's got the mounting holes for the trim clips and you got a smashed body line above it. You don't want to drill a hole in it, and maybe there's for some reason the access to the back is just not right for you to get a big push. You need a big push on that body line, and there's these holes right underneath it, but if you were to use one, you just ruin it, like totally make it 90 degrees to its original self. So with this crazy little question mark bend, you're able to start it in the hole, thread it through. It's almost like one of those metal horseshoe puzzles. It's like if you understand how it goes perfectly, and if you don't, it feels like it doesn't fit. But once you understand that, now you're through this little hole that's like this, and you're right on this body line with this monster power. And yeah, you might have a little collateral damage to the hole, but nothing that you couldn't correct. And you're not going to enlarge it so the clip doesn't work anymore.
Sure.
And it's just phenomenal. And it goes in a lot of different places. And you find yourself, like, all of a sudden you have a whole new world of access that you weren't considering before because, like, that's where the bumper retainer goes. I can't ruin those things, or this bumper's not going to go back on.
Or the wheel arch clip's got to stick tight.
They got to stick tight. But this allows you to get through those holes and then get a big push. You're not just in there. Like, you can put a straight tool through there. It doesn't get up where you need to go. So this bend, it's not just like an accidental bend. And you can see it's not just a radius. There's a straight section and a radius on purpose to get it in where it's going. So totally underrated. Even if it is super selling really well, I think people are not quite understanding how much ability this tool adds to your tool.
I was doing a Hyundai dealership, an account here, and the Palisades, or I don't remember the Santa Fe, one of the body styles.
A lot of them have it.
So they kept getting those dents on those rear quarters on the body lines.
Mm-hmm. Chops right through those two strong lines.
And I'm pulling off the wheel arch. I was like, okay, great access, 1/4 inch. What do I got that's 1/4 inch? And I'm grab the Dentcraft black ones, and those are great tools, but that's a horrible pushing tip. Mm-hmm. As far as a pushing tip, it's very aggressive, and especially if you're trying to push in a body line, which you by rule you shouldn't. And so it's like, that's all I got. And so you start trying to lift that body line, you start picking it, and I'm like, man. So then I'm like trying to put tips on this thing.
Then it doesn't fit in the hole.
But it doesn't fit in the hole. Mm-hmm. And so, like, what are my options? So I went through all this other iteration of these interchangeable tips for these tools, which never came to fruition for a small diameter.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking screw, I'm talking about something else. Mm-hmm. And it was like, man, there's got to be a simpler thing than this. And so I'm like, well, usually the best push I can get in a lot of cases is the heel of a tool.
Yeah.
Like, it's very soft and a very good tip. And I'm like, if I get a heel in there, okay, why can't I just bend it to where it's pushing with the heel, but the heel is in the place I want it?
Yeah.
And so that's where that came
awesome.
from. So yeah, you're just getting a soft push through a small hole. And so in Vegas this year, we released these, and I have this is so the new one's more centered, and I have 2 links of them. These are called the flat rats, but it's the same thing. Is you'll be able to get a soft push through a small hole. So I can tell you where I use this. We just had a guy here for training all week, and we had a huge Tesla dent on the bottom of those lift gates, which is very typical, and it just gets very tapered in there. It just gets tapered, and the access isn't great. You're coming back at you, and you don't have a lot of pushing leverage because of the
What panel are you in?
Tesla hatch.
Okay.
The normal Tesla dent at the bottom of the hatch.
Ugh.
And so it's hard to pry because of where you got to put your eyes and so I'm like, I need a twisting tool. And so this is essentially a tight access twisting tool where you can get kind of in a thin layer and push with the same kind of result. And if you need to, you can flip it over and go to some fine tune. And then you can go in and you can do this kind of thing similar to a flat rat where you don't need this big arc. You do need this on the body lines, on the quarters. But this, you can go in there and you can get a little bit flatter. So I do use these on the bottoms of lift gates where you have the drain holes.
Yeah.
Where you can put them right up in there, and I can pry like that, or I can do twisting.
Do you have a whole set of these?
We have 2. We have
This guy.
we have the 1/4 inch. I forget what length this one is. I got a 1/4 inch longer one, and they're bendable, so you can bend the mess out of these, and they're freaking great.
So, you know the dent tool company Inventure?
Yeah.
I have this design from them like 10 years ago, but it's skinnier. And it's one of my
I had it.
It's one of my prized tools for drilling holes, using holes, whatever. But usually you're drilling a hole for a super deep dent near an edge. There's no better way than you going through that little hole, and then you have this monster heel, and you can just hustle the bottom of a deep dent so super clean. And I'm like, the day I lose this tool, I'm going to cry because I don't know where to get it anymore. Inventure's gone. And I don't even think hardly anybody knows that tool.
I broke mine.
Yeah, so you're over here crying. That you need.
Is yours the thin yellow handle?
You gave it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used it in the front of hoods.
Yeah.
Where you can
it's
get
anywhere
around
you can get
stuff.
that hole in, and you can just go around and turn corners. So please just make these all the way down to like 1/8 inch.
Easy.
All
Set.
of them.
Set, Matt.
A whole set.
Sets.
People don't realize
Sets.
how useful that is.
Sets.
So when I worked at Dent Wizard, you go to the tool room occasionally. They have a tool room. Mike Orr works there, and he's amazing. And we'd go there, and people would send him stuff all the time. And so you go in
Bends
there.
that they created, like make this for me.
No, even Dent companies.
Oh, yeah.
Like just and so like you go in there, and Mike's like, "Hey man, take this. I don't know what it's for." So they just sent it to me. Like it wasn't like one that Dent Wizard bought. It was just this freebie thing,
Yeah.
so you could just give them out. It wasn't like inventoried or something. And so here, take this. And so he handed me this tool that was similar to that years ago, and I never knew who made it. Like I asked everybody, and I asked Mike, where did it come
Nobody
from? He's
knows.
like, I don't know, man. It just a tool showed up. But that one was more of a wire, and it lost a little drive. Like
Yeah.
it was thinner.
Scary at that point.
It didn't have torque because it would just kind of twist. If it's too thin, it doesn't. It loses. So I guess depending on the material you use.
And the length, right? You got to like if it's skinny, it's got to be shorter.
Yeah. So
Like these are really stout. These are freaking.
Oh, those are strong.
Awesome.
Yeah. And these now are going to come also available on the new Anson hub tools with those handles. We're going to have those at MTE.
I would like this all the way up to a 1/2 inch.
All the way up to a 1/2 inch. You think both of these?
Yeah. Full sets from little to big because the concept is so good, you will find more places to put it to work. You'll start understanding that push and that like the way a technician looks at a dent, if you don't have the tool, your mind doesn't go to that possibility. You just look, you go, okay, I can go straight at it, I can go with the hook, I'm like, that's what I got. But then when you start using a new technique, a new way to go at it, you have this new thought process to go, okay, I can do this. Okay, now I have a completely different way I'm going to attack this, completely different way I'm going to get at it, or just more options when you're thinking that's not going to work. I can go this way. And this concept of small access, big heel works all over the place, right? Imagine you have a long quarter panel that you can only get from the back, and you have this deep, round, nasty dent. this is what you need, but this 3 feet long doesn't have the drive. A 1/2-inch tool, like you have the space, but you don't have a push from that far, but you do have a twist.
Sure.
And that big twist, I mean, this on a 1/2-inch would be so clean, especially with some leather on it.
Because he doesn't like that. Because I have a tool that can make 1/2-inch holes in quarter panels, and that would I don't want to have to put a big tip on it.
Yeah.
Because I'd have to go 3/4 inch.
Exactly.
I have that too, but I don't
You can
want
use a
to.
micro tip now, but
Yes.
if you but this is way bigger than that,
Yeah.
right? This is the king, is the surface area.
There's something to be said about the heel of a tool. Like if I can use the heel of a tool, like even on that quarter panel, like I would stick a long tool in there, and if I had to push that tip, it can be so. But what I'll do is I'll jam the tip down like in the narrow of the quarter, and just use that heel to push that dent if it works, and it's always the favorable push.
But this locks out better
Oh yeah,
because it's such a bigger paddle. It's like a whale
Sure.
tail at that point,
Yes.
but so broad.
Sure.
So I'm a huge fan of this style. I would encourage you to keep pushing this style with new shapes and sizes, because this, to me, this is the key to doing super clean work. And I guess I could give some credit to Sal Contreras, because he's the first technician that really like pushed the idea to me of big, wide, soft pushes. Before it was like put tape on it and beat it up and get it flat. But he's like, I think his term is wide directional pushing. I don't too much follow the directional, because I don't have the patience to set up some sled that's going to push in one random direction. But that's what he has, a sled in the dent dial.
Yes.
When he takes the time, it's cool, right? But but the same reason I do this is the same reason I can't do those setups. It's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
But a big, wide push is the king. Like if you don't affect the texture at all, that's the first step to having an undetectable repair. If you can get the shape right and you don't touch the texture, it's perfect. But as soon as you start manipulating the texture, you're over pushing, like you have to sand your way out of it. You're not going to get to perfect. You can get to shipped it and paid, but if you're after the artistry of it, the wide flat pushes are the way you get deep dents up clean, in my experience. And maybe there's other ways that I haven't seen, but you can use that for an hour or this literally in 1.5 seconds. Whoop, and that bottoms up.
Yeah.
It's unreal if nobody has used this kind of push. So I would say, man, if you had a whole set of these from 1/2 inch down to, little baby wires, I'd be like, take my money. That's what I want.
You want to pre-order now?
Yeah. I'd be happy to, because that thing will make me money.
Yeah.
Before we go, I just told Keith I've been trying to use Claim Connection, and something came. I got a job with the lady wanted to use her insurance. Usually, the people aren't using insurance with me, mobile retail, but story was this lady has a Highlander, and I quote her $1,000, and I said in my little spiel that I give, I said I accept cash, check, credit, whatever, and she's like, "Oh, you don't accept insurance?" And I was like, "Au contraire, bonjour, I do accept insurance." And so,
Well, not to take you off the scent, but she might be telling you a little clue about you're saying most people choose not to use insurance. Maybe it's that you're not giving them the option.
yes,
Yeah.
I agree. That needs to be part of my standard operating procedure. It's not. So anyways, this lady wanted to use her insurance. I said, okay, great. But listen, that $1,000 price, that's not going to be the same price. I have to come in person, take pictures. And then I have a third party lady who is going to take all of the information, and she's going to do an estimate based on insurance standards. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be, she's going to help us come up with the price. And because I don't know how to deal with insurance. She said, great. So I went out there, took all the pictures, did everything. I said, hey, Matt, what all pictures do I need? He told me what pictures to take. I took it all home, signed up for Claim Connection, and then I'm loading my pictures. While I'm loading my pictures, this is all in the same sitting. My phone rings and it's Tammy calling me, saying, "Hey, you signed up for Claim Connection. I just want to make sure you know how to blah 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 blah." And she's starting to
That's awesome.
tell me how to use everything, and I'm like, "This is crazy." I like the customer experience on my end was amazing.
Yeah, that's great. She is really like the most helpful person in my life. She's not being helpful because that's her job. She just is a helpful person.
Well,
She's down to help people.
It inspired me to try to think through how I interact with my customers, and like, man, how can I match that somehow? Because usually that's not how it works. But she gave me some tips next time. Whenever I do it next time, to have them sign this statement to repair. What is it?
Direction to pay.
Direction to pay.
Yeah.
Because
Basically, it's like paperwork, and we have a version of it on Claim Connection that you can just fill out.
Yep.
And it basically says, "Hey, insurance company, this is my shop I'm using. It's not I've chosen, and you are authorized to pay them for the work done on my car." So you become kind of their contact for the insurance company.
And it seems also like I can take, maybe she said you should take a deposit, a couple $100 maybe.
Yeah,
And-
I don't currently do that only because I don't know how to do the books. Like, where am I going to put that $200?
Okay.
Because there isn't an invoice yet. So do I make a separate invoice? So my wife is really serious about the bookkeeping at our company, and I don't know how to fix that. It seems like a silly problem. Like,
Yeah.
I can take the deposit, I can take the money, but then how do you rectify it in the books? And like, if they don't come in, what is the invoice going to say? So we have that problem at my service business. But to Tammy's point, they need some skin in the game to say, yes, I hire you. Here's the money. It's a deposit towards my deductible.
Or at least get the thing signed so that they kind of have more connection to you, and
Right.
they just don't go away. But so she helped me learn some things that I can do better next time. And then she has been following up with me at least once a week with, "Hey, this is where we're at. State Farm, she's just being so helpful and just doing this whole thing without me having to do anything.
Yeah.
And I told her my estimate was 1,000. I said, I'd like to get 2,000 out of this. Seeing it in person, there's some other things. And then her initial estimate was $7,000. And she's telling me, "Hey, you're probably not going to get 7. This is just where we're starting the negotiation with the insurance company."
Right.
This is written by the book.
Yeah, it'll be written properly for a conventional probably at 7. And then we all know the insurance companies don't want to pay for all the proper procedures. They start cutting them out. "Well, we don't pay for this. We don't pay for that. We don't think you need to blend the door. We don't need blah, blah, blah."
And she went over the estimate with me, and I was like, "Oh, she screwed this up." It was the quarter panel, and I said, "You have the headliner in here." And she's like, "Well, James, to paint that quarter panel, you have to take the roof rack off. To take the roof rack off, you have to drop the headliner. So that's part of it." And I was like, "Oh, my bad."
I did the same thing to her once. I had a hail
corrected
truck,
her?
a hail truck, and she had to remove rear seats.
And you're like, "Come on."
I'm like, "I don't think
This
we
is
need to
from a
take the
different claim.
seats off because it's an error." She's like, "Well, Keith, that rear window is motorized. You need it out, right? Well, there's trim behind it. And I know you guys can get in there and just yank the trim out. But the proper procedure is the seats have to come out so that the trim can come out in the right factory direction. That's just the way it's supposed to be done. If you guys want to shortcut it, knock yourself out. But that's the way it's supposed to be done." I'm like, "Proceed, Tammy."
Yeah. So she's even been following up with me. "Hey, maybe reach out to the customer and tell them this." And so I'll say, "Oh, okay, cool." And I'll just literally tell them exactly what she said. So she's walking me through the whole process. I haven't done the job yet, but so far it has just been a great experience and has inspired me to try to dial in my customer experience to where I'm making people feel like she's making me feel. So
That's great.
Good
I
job,
appreciate you
man.
sharing that with me.
Yeah.
We can talk about your specific claim if you want for a second, because I was asking her about it on the way over here. Because I think there's a little pitfall that customers will fall into. Do you mind if we talk about it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So the hang up in yours is that the insurance company's not recognizing you as a repair shop. They're like, they haven't told us strongly enough that you're the repair shop. So we're going to make them go to one of our DRPs and get an estimate. And they can't, we all know they can't make them go anywhere.
Did she sign a direction to pay?
No. That was one of the hang ups.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So pausing.
Okay.
The direction I have everyone sign a direction to pay when they show up. If I know they want to file a claim, and I'll have them sign that immediately.
Just the one on the Claim Connection website?
No, I have ones printed out, and I'll sign and put in immediately make a file, and I'll screenshot it, and you upload it in the estimate. And what that does is it allows the insurance company to pay you. So now they're going to send me the check for whatever we agree upon, less the deductible. So that therefore the customer can't just spit the hook and go somewhere else because they didn't get sent the money. I got sent the money. Now and then I hold on to the check until the customer comes in to do the repair. I just put it in a file until until they show up and do the repair, because there's a chance they might not, and I'm not going to back that out.
Right.
So like I hold on to it, wait for them to do the repair. Then after we do the repair, I'll get the deductible and I'll deposit the check. If I don't even have the check, I'll get a screenshot of the payment from the insurance company. They can send you that payment was issued, like a screenshot that was mailed to you. It's just in transit, and then we can go ahead and schedule too. But that direction to pay allows that money to go right to you so that they don't just go buy a new iPad with it and not get their car fixed.
Yeah. So that's true. I agree with all those things. And a lot of customers don't understand that they don't have to go get an estimate from where the insurance tells them to go. And the insurance will use really, really strong wording to convince them to go. They will, sometimes the customer will tell you, they told me I have to. And I promise they didn't say you have to, because they're very careful about their words, but they'll word it in such a creative way that it sounds like they have to. So I
would believe that. Right. If I was going through this process, you got to take it here, and this is our representative, and they're going to make a estimate on our behalf.
Right.
That seems legitimate.
Logical, yeah. But and I think most people know this, but just to talk about it, the DRP shop has that agreement so they can capture the job. So if you got a customer that's not completely sold on you and what you do, when they land there, I mean, the reason it's a claim is it's probably a big dent. The body shop's going to say, oh, no, this is not a paintless dent repair candidate. This needs to be painted. In fact, we've got a rental car running right now. Just leave it with us. We'll get this fixed. We can have it done by Wednesday. And they go, that sounds easy. And it's done. They're a better salesperson in that situation. They've got a whole pipeline. They've got it set up. So you're kind of trying to buck the system. So what I find helpful is to just predict the future to the customer who they're not super savvy. So I'll first tell them, okay, the insurance company is going to tell you have to go somewhere. And then the ones who are savvy, they'll say, oh, I don't have to take it anywhere I don't want to. I can take it wherever I want. Like, cool. You understand the playbook. Then we can kind of have a different conversation. But if they're just still listening, they're learning. So I'll just tell them what's going to happen. They're going to tell you have to. They're going to say things like, you won't have a lifetime warranty if you don't go through our approved shop. And then I explain to them, the insurance company doesn't warranty anything. It's the shops that do the warranty. And we have the same warranty that the body shop has. And we don't ever have to use it because nothing happens. But they need to use theirs because the paint sometimes fails. Sometimes the filler will show. So they have to warranty it. So I just kind of tell them what's going to happen. So then when it does happen, they go, oh, this is what he said is going to happen. No, I'm not taking it there. That's the shop I already want. Harder with mobile because, you can't just grab Matt can just have the keys. Drop the car, get a rental, and now you've got it. I call it, you're peeing on it like a tree, like a dog. I'm peeing all over this one. It's mine. But with mobile, you can't really do that. It's hanging out. So those are harder to capture for sure. So
what do you say when, let's just say it's a Geico claim, and they come to you and I want you to do the car. I'll get a direction to pay, and they say, hey, Geico said I need to go to this collision shop because and I know they have an adjuster set up in that shop, and so they have to go there to get that initial claim, and then mine becomes a supplement, right? Because usually insurance wants to lay eyes on it to confirm damage and have an initial claim put in, and I know that body shops will do that service for free as a liaison of the insurance company so that they can capture the work. I mean, we work for Dent Wizard, and Dent Wizard did that for USAA just to get,
of course,
they would put on a USAA shirt, and they're not a USAA employee, but they're acting on behalf of USAA to capture the work. So like, I will say, listen, you signed the direction to pay, you came here for a reason. I usually try to sell them, and I'm using you. Okay, well, Geico's going to send you to this collision shop. I mean, it's just to get the claim going. So I maybe would go there if that's what they're going to twist your arm to do, and at least get the claim going to get the process, but then let them know that we're coming here to do the work and you've got the direction to pay already. And so what do you say to those where like the insurance company is set up at the shop and they might have to go there for that initial claim?
So they still don't have to.
They don't have to.
No. That customer that we're talking about in this scenario could drop here and leave it.
And they would have to send that rep out, a field rep.
They'd either send a rep or do a virtual. They have to. They can't make them go anywhere. They can request them strongly to please go there and they can say, and they can make it suck, right? By saying, oh, we can't get anybody out here for another 10 days. The car's just going to sit. But if you take it to our shop, we can get the estimate done today, which might be true. They might have no reps in this area for a certain carrier. So, there's a lot of different little fingers of this river that you could go down that kind of all end up at the same place, but take a different life journey to get there. Sometimes, like, it is easiest to just go with the flow and say, yeah, go ahead and go there. That's what they want you to do. Like you're saying, just go ahead and go. And if you've done a good job selling them, they're going to use you. And just tell them they're going to try to get you to drop the car there because they really want to paint it. But if we want to keep it original, I need to do it for you. So just go there because it's what they're wanting you to do. You just need that paper, and then we'll tell them it's not enough, and we'll work out the differences. You don't worry about that. I'll worry about that and getting your car looking perfect. But this is a step that'll make it go a little bit faster. So you can do that as long as you kind of give them enough armor that they're not going to get popped when they go in there. But some of them get snagged. I mean, there's some good salespeople, and it's a big system. They got everybody's working. Their cars look good when they're coming out. What's the big deal? Here's a rental car. We can get it for you right now. It's enticing, but and this is where mobile versus fixed location on insurance claims is really tough. It's not apples and apples, because when it's here, you have a strong position. The car's here, and pro tip: take it apart right away, because you got to do a full tear down to make sure you see all the damage, right? So get it apart, because now it's not going to leave here without some money changing hands. If you leave it together and they start barking and making a big deal and you're 3 miles apart and they tell the customer, we can make this pain stop if you just take it to our DRP shop. If the car's together, it could leave. But if it's apart, hey, you're welcome to take it, but there's a $2,000 R&I bill. Somebody's paying something before this thing goes. So I would recommend that as a pro tip when in the shop, but you don't have that option, mobile. So, and they kind of mess with the mobile guys.
I just go to the house and take the car apart there, so they can't use it until I come.
That is a strategy. I don't know if it's one I could endorse, but it is one. So I will say, you are on an uphill battle trying to get top dollar claims on a mobile basis. The insurance companies will make it hard for you. And Tammy will do all that hard work, but it's still hard. Mm-hmm. The reason Claim Connection exists is because dealing with the insurance sucks. And it still sucks for us. We just, somebody needs to take out the garbage, and that's what we do. We take out the garbage, but it doesn't, we don't have some magic system that makes the insurance companies just pay us and everything's cool. It's still freaking hard. They're still fighting. There's still a bunch of back and forth.
Well, I
and
wouldn't.
Gambits.
If I had to deal with any of that, I wouldn't do it.
It's not worth it.
So it's also like hiring a lawyer to talk to a lawyer. Like you going against a lawyer, don't stand a chance. And, you get your lawyer to talk, and they're speaking the same language, and they know how to banter and
Yeah.
get what they
Right.
want. So if you start speaking to an adjuster and you don't know what you're doing, they're going to steamroll you. But you put Tammy on it, and she's going to fight, and she's going to stand her ground.
Yes.
So
If you get that,
I like it.
If you get that direction of repair or direction of pay and authorization to repair signed and get it over and get it submitted, and then possibly have them go to the DRP and just get the sheet rolling, you'll make headway on it. It'll start moving after that. But they'll stall out. In this situation, they just stall. And I don't know who wrote that book. Guys haven't actually read it yet, but all about the corruption of the insurance industry, called defend, deny, delay. It's like those 3 terms that they always use. That's their playbook. And it's super effective. Just delay. Everyone gets frustrated. Everyone's like, nothing's happening. They're all of a sudden now open to something else because it's been 3 months now and my car's not fixed. Well, we could make it stop. Just take it to our shop. It's
war of attrition.
It's effective. Defend, deny, and delay. So you're going uphill a little bit, mobile, but it can be done, especially if you just get some of that paperwork done early and predict the future for the customer and follow up with them.
And sell it, try to seal that deal as much as possible upon that initial consultation. Like convince them, hey, your car just has dents in it. I can fix. That's why you called me. I can fix the dents. You take it to a body shop, they're going to replace this panel, or they're going to Bondo that, or they're not, and they're going to paint it. You don't need a paint job. You just need the dents fixed. That's what I do.
Yeah,
so,
I think I did a decent job at that, and she was all about not. She did not want the car painted. So hopefully,
that's a lady that's had a car painted before, right there.
yeah.
we driving over here and everywhere on the freeway, you see these paint jobs that are failing because Florida's hard on paint, and you just see the car's all beautiful, one panel's just smoked, and I'm always like, I always say to myself, I know somebody who could paint it for less. There it is, dude. Every time you can see it a mile away. Like, it's not apples and apples.
Yeah.
The repaints are awful most every time. Once in a while, you'll have a one come in that's got a painted panel. Liam and I had a Porsche come in, a Cayenne, and super clean, but it had PPF on the front clip, but the fender didn't have the PPF. The paint looked really nice. Like, why is the PPF missing off this one side, though? And look, and there's like a little rub mark on the bumper. And like, but this paint looks like factory. But then I step back and look at the colors, just a hair off. But still, like, maybe I'm seeing things. So now I'm curious, like, is it why, I'm like a little investigator. And I run my hand over the back edge of the fender. I'm like, gotcha. You can't hide them perfectly. But I mean, that's so rare to have a texture that's thrown down that matches the factory texture. Almost never happens. This painter was really good, but still detectable without tools. Just my finger on the back of the fender, you can feel the overspray.
Andy, one of my technicians, he's like, your factory paint is like the tamper-resistant seal on bottle or medicine.
That's a good way to put it.
And it's like, as soon as that's broken, you don't know what's been done, like to the next customer, right? So as soon as you have this car repainted, it might do a good job, but you're not guaranteed what was done to the car. It's been tampered with.
Yeah.
You've already broken that seal. And so there's a little bit of loss of value there. Even if they did a good job, there's this question mark of unknown, like what happened.
Do you
And what's
guys
going to
know-
happen?
Do you guys know Jay Ma from Taiwan?
Yeah,
I know who he
of
is.
him, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be out at the show. If you haven't spent time with him, you should meet him. Very cool. But in Taiwan, where he works, if any of the bolts have been turned on a hinge anywhere, they devalue the car by 10 or 15%.
Wow.
Any paint broken, because that means the panel's been off. It means the car's been hit. So he doesn't take panels off. He does some amazing smash work, and he doesn't take panels off because even if you're like super meticulous and you touch up the bolts, they can obviously see that it's been moved. It's like death rattle for those cars.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? So no panels come off.
Wow.
So he would want some. He'd be somebody who wants some rat rods.
Oh, he probably already has them. If he doesn't, he would love them. Yeah, they do. Their videos are amazing too. If you're like wanting inspiration for social, their social's on point.
Yeah, I watch them, and there's always like an army of technicians working on a car.
He's super interesting. If you could get him to come sit down with you, he is actually an undercover baller. He's got awesome company, completely different structure, where they have levels of proficiency inside his company, where you get like kind of get your black belt. He doesn't call those terms, but it's like you go from here to here to here. And when they work on cars, they work on them together. So like different guys are working at the same time, or one guy starts, next guy's middle, next guy's finishing. Completely different than the way we look at it here. And he's only been in the business 10 or 12 years. Mike Toledo trained him, but he just went boom, like a rocket ship in his repair quality and his business structure. Really cool guy.
Did he talk about that? He was at the Advanced Skills.
Yeah, he was.
Did he talked about that
He
stuff?
did, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's shy about his English, but his English is really good. He just doesn't think it's as good as it is, but it's really good. So he's you could learn a lot from the way he runs his business and what he does. It's very cool.
We'd have to catch him on an MTE trip when he's coming over here.
Are y'all going to Italy?
Yeah. Yeah. We're going again. You guys going?
I think Matt is. I'm not.
You're not going this time? You saw enough.
Saw it all. Yeah. Saw from Milan to the thing and back.
Yeah.
The goal is to bring my son Deacon with me.
Okay.
Deacon's pushing now. He's a year in. He's really good. He wants to chase Hale this year, so he's coming to MTE and he's going to do some networking.
Okay.
And then I told him I'd bring him to Italy. They want me to be a judge, and supposedly the plan right now is me and Bryce are going to go together. His family's not going to go, so I'm going to drive down there. We're going to get a flight, me, him, and Deacon to Italy, and then rent a car. And then I'm going to help them with the advanced skills seminar that him and Geddes are going to do.
Yeah. I'll be there for that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was, and then
Bryce and I were comparing schedules too, and talking about how do we all connect out there and make sure we're kind of
yeah
getting out there at the same time.
So that's kind of the goal for now.
How old's your son? 20?
18.
18.
Yeah, and he's so clean, man. I'm so proud. Like
It's great.
yeah, he did a dent the other day. His first big dent, not hail dent. And it was an Enterprise car, and someone had already pushed it. Like it was all jacked up, all pringled up. And so I was a Camry quarter panel way up by the door. And I said, all right, Deacon, you can't mess this up. It's already messed up. Like he's very clean. So I'm like, and so he pushed it, and it looked so good. I mean, there were some scars from someone got in there with like a rake or something and just made these lines in it, you know? So he had to make them go away. So there's a little bit of scar from that, which was not him. I mean, I got before videos of it all.
That's sweet.
But he just made it so clean. And I'm like, dude, let me make a video. You can post it. He's like, no, I'm not posting. I'm like, why? Why aren't you proud of that? And he's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not. Deacon, this isn't like showboating. Like, it's not about that. It's just about like, this is your art now, and just display it a little bit. And he's like, I don't know. It's not me. Okay. Well, we want it for archives anyhow.
Yeah.
Like we're going to make it so you can look back on this in a year or 2 years and kind of see your progression. Because even if you are a new guy who maybe isn't doing perfect work and you're worried about, should I post this on Instagram? I think the guy was yesterday on the Dent Slayer community was asking about my video, and it's like, dude, show that stuff. Even if it's not perfect, forget the internet idiots who are going to come in there and say, I can still see this. Of course you can. The guy's been fixing dents a year. He's not going to be perfect. But like, log that stuff and build your Instagram so you can show an accurate representation of what you do.
Yeah.
And you can look at your progression. Think about a tattoo artist. He has this progression of like, this is where I started and this is where I'm at. And I can show people, yeah, I'm here now and I was here, and look at this. Like, don't be scared to curate that progression. Like, I think that's where you should do that for your own self.
You could use the technique that a guy in my market does, where you do the dent, and then for the after video, you just go to the other side and flip the video. Yeah.
Oh.
Such a rat, this guy. There's like dents where I'm like, damn, that's a hard dent, dude. And then the after is just like glass perfect. I'm like,
It's the quarter panel. One has the gas cap. The other one doesn't have the gas cap.
no, he's a little sneakier. It's it gives it away. So if anyone is pulling this garbage in your market, it's anything that's written. So the tires, the writing's backwards. Where like a Ram will be a Mar on the after video. Freaking loser, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's deception. You're like I think
You're setting everybody up for failure.
people can see through that stuff. Eventually, that's going to catch you. And it's like, just be honest. That's what I'm saying. Be honest with your stuff. And if you're doing a good job and you're pursuing excellence, then that's going to come out at some point.
Have you guys ever seen that YouTube guy, Peterson Dent Repair, PDR?
No.
It's it's worth watching. I don't know if he's posted in a couple of years, but he's like one of the worst dent guys. But we'd film everything and show it all. And he's like, yeah, I just did my best. You know, it's like, it's not perfect, but I think we did a really good job. And in the comments, people love him.
Uh-huh.
They're so supportive. Like, dude, you did an amazing job. That was so bad, and you made it look so good, and you're so nice to people. Because he does seem like a nice guy. He's a little bit like bumbling over himself. But like the community that weren't dent guys were so behind him. It was crazy to see. And like butcher work, ruining cars.
Uh-huh.
But ruining them with a smile, and man, he got all the support. So it's like, it was eye-opening to me to see, like, if you just put what you do out there and you have cool energy, people are down for you. It's not as dangerous out there on the internet as you think. Sometimes it's the opposite.
Wow.
All right. Well,
I liked this podcast a lot.
it was a good one. There's a lot of technical stuff
Yeah.
that we went over, not just personal.
Yeah, technical stuff is good. You can't make money without technical stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Before we go, make sure you support our sponsors. Keith, you've been good about this lately on your podcast, saying, hey, if you like our podcast, then buy my tools, because this is how we pay for this.
It's a true story. I mean, the podcast doesn't make money. It's not our audience is never going to be 100,000 or 1 million people. It's just, this stuff is too nerdy.
Yeah.
So you want to support the show? Buy the Dent Slayers tools. You want to support PDR College? Buy the Black Plague tools.
Yeah. And support our sponsors. Black Plague is one of them. So buy his tools, buy the new super straight tabs, buy the new, what are we calling it?
Micro tips.
Micro tips. Buy his tab straps. I mean, all his stuff is great. He's innovating. Support Black Plague PDR. Also, Mobile Tech RX. Another way you can invest in yourself is if you're not running a software, you really need to look into that. And that's the best one for us. That's the one we use. Is that what you use?
I use both Mobile Tech RX and Recon Pro.
Okay. Yeah.
Have a kind of hybrid system going on.
Okay. Interesting. That's cool. Both of those are owned by the same company,
Same
right?
company, yeah.
Good. And then Mobile Tech Expo. It's in the past now that you're hearing this. But next year,
It was
if you
amazing.
haven't, it was
It was an
great.
amazing
So
show.
good.
We all
we had a
such
record
good
show.
time.
We sold out of everything.
If you're not going to that,
Manifesting it.
good job. If you're not going to that, you're really missing out. You need to go there.
Well, you might have time to go to Italy by now if you hear this.
Yes,
Yeah, you definitely
that's
will.
a much cheaper thing. But if you're
Cheaper?
yeah, much cheaper. Just go to Italy. That was a joke. Yes, sorry, Matt. I know these jokes tonight.
Woo! They're a little dry.
So-
like these definitely not gay tabs because they're super straight. That's what I've been calling them.
Yeah, they're not gay.
They're
at
definitely
all.
not
They
gay.
know who they are, and they're super straight.
No homo.
No disrespect to my gay dent guys. I don't know any yet, but if they're out there, we got you.
We got you.
Oh, there's a few. I know a few.
Could you
Half of them in my
modify
group
these?
chat. They're all in my group
Are
chat.
any of them in the room with us right now?
Not that I know of.
If they are, look up if they are. Support our sponsors. Buy our stuff. Anything else, guys?
No. I just want to say thank you for once again making the journey over here.
It's a highlight of the trip, man. It's really cool to sit down and just talk shop. This and the effort that you guys put into the professionalism of the show is very cool. It's like raising the tide for our industry. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You made me get new audio hardware from the podcast.
I just told Keith his latest episode, the audio was so nice. I was like, dude, what happened?
Right.
The audio is awesome.
PDR College podcast.
Yeah, I could tell y'all are putting effort into
Well,
it.
we had a past where we had an audio guy. He was a dent wizard guy.
Yeah.
He was amazing. Derek Reed. He's like, hey, I love your show and it sounds awful. And we're like, we don't know anything about it. We're just dent guys on microphones. He's like, can I please fix it? Yes, please fix it. And he made it sound so good. But after that, only how long can you work for free on some podcast? And he's like, hey, I've done enough. I'm done. But Shane and I left.
Did he send you gear? Or did he just tell you what gear to buy?
Fine. We bought good gear to start. But it's just not that easy. The magic that's happening over there, you guys don't know about it. But it's actually much harder than you think. It seems simple, but to get everybody sounding nice and crisp and, to balance it out. And back in those days, we would edit out a lot of the dumb pauses or stupid words just to make it more listenable. And then years later, we just said, like, it is what it is. We were saying dumb stuff, and it's not worth editing it out. But when Derek wasn't doing it for us, like, I tried my best, and sometimes I was on it, and then we'd have a piece of equipment break and replace it, and it's not the same, the new one. And it just, like, changing offices, different environments. Like, it was hard to keep it consistent. But now that we're doing the show every week again, we've recommitted, new mixer. My mixer's fancy like yours now, so it sounds better. And I'm using the power of the robots to clean up the sound.
So that was my question. You have a scheduled release? You're doing one a week?
Yeah, one a week now. Like we started for the first friggin' 300 shows. It just got a little intense to do it. Shane was traveling for hail. He still will travel for hail this year, but hard to keep a schedule.
Dude, one a week is that's
I'm sure.
Huge
when do y'all do it? Is it a random night or you have a set night?
We have a set night that sometimes we have to adjust for, but we have a set night, and then we release them on Mondays, usually. Sometimes I'm late and I go out Tuesday. But traditionally, Monday had been our day. We'd put a new episode out. But it's not that tough once you commit to it.
Do you feel you have enough content for a week?
Yeah. You can, any topic. We get as much, the hack with the podcast is that even if it never left this office, it still provides value to the guys having the conversation. Right? So there's always something you could be working on in your business. Always. It's never ending. So Shane and I are just sometimes talking about what we're working on and what we should be working on, what we wish we didn't do, just like a little therapy session.
Sure.
And it's valuable. That's how I convince myself to start back up on a regular basis, that the conversation is valuable to me, even if no one ever hears it. So and especially if you bring in interviews, like bring in people with new perspectives and done things that you want to do, even if no one else hears it, it's still a really good use of your time. So, and if more people hear it, it just magnifies it for everybody else. But that's how I convince myself to commit the time to doing it, because it is tough. Like, you guys make a big commitment to do this show. Ours is a lot lower hanging fruit. It's just audio, no video, and just around an hour. So it's easier to squeeze it in than you might think. But.
Yeah, so if we do a 4 hour, then we're getting one a week if we're doing an hour a week.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just more efficient.
We're just going to break it up in an hour, release them every week.
These days you're supposed to break it all up into a million shorts and everything and post all these short videos.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
fun.
The AI does the work now.
When you get a robot.
And we got a Marcio.
Thanks, Marcio.
Yep.
What up, Liam?
What's happening?
Liam's over here putting on some weight, stacking up. Last time I saw him, he was niddly and he was thinned out. Now he's
We got him on that low gluten bread out there.
30.
I just dumped this chick, so that's why.
Or he got dumped.
She had me withering away, man.
Yeah, it's not sympathy weight. The dude's stacked now. It's all muscle.
Oh, I know. I said he
job.
looks sturdy.
Sturdy.
Yeah. So.
All right, y'all. See y'all next time.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks again for having me, boys.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Appreciate y'all.
The Dent Slayer,
Next time.
Matt Boya. Thank you so much for being here.
She's smooth.